Going. We are live. Hey, everybody, we're live. Let's wait till everybody sort of picks up. Wait till the stream health is okay. So, this is pre-show, obviously. Popeye, I will not officially introduce you until the show starts. So, but you can speak. Just don't introduce yourself, or I will have to admonish you. Say everything but your own name is fine.
Okay, I can sit quietly. I was taught well that way. So
hey everybody, welcome to the pre-show. We're waiting for everybody to sort of kick in here. Maybe I should get some disclaimers out of the way before we start the show. If you're tuning in, you see me and you wanted to see Popeye. Sorry, it's me. Disclaimer 1. So because I really grappled with this Popeye when everybody started like showing interest in this. I'm like, oh crap, they're gonna show up and they're gonna see me and immediately be like, yoink, jump right up back out of that boat.
Bye.
Oh yeah.
So we'll see what happens.
Yeah.
Hello, Mark.
Well, that's.
Hello, my mother.
Oh, thank you.
That's all you can really hope for. You just like, let's see what happens and let's try to have a good attitude about it.
Yeah, we're here to hang out. If you're here live,
it's a hangout.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, the title of what we're doing tonight should make it perfectly clear. We're just hanging out.
We're hanging out. We're talking. We're going to go over some stuff. I've got copious notes again. If you've heard the interviews, I was able to cobble together some more notes. And of course, Popeye, you may not be familiar, but you will be subject to the FFOP5 coming up on the show.
Ooh.
Oh, okay. All right. I'm prepared for whatever the evening is going to take us. So
you're going to love this. Trust me.
All right. I'm sure I will. No, I trust you because we've talked a few times before this, and it's like, I trust you. We've never met in person, but I feel a connection to you and your lovely wife, and it's like, yeah, bring it on, man.
You're in good hands, Popeye. I would never lead you astray. However, this may be the most important thing of your life. I don't want to oversell it, but this could really be a defining moment in our career together.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. All right. Well, I guess that works for me.
So also apologies to Mark for being bamboozled.
Yeah. Sorry.
Formal apology. But so we're about to roll into the show here, but another disclaimer. We're both recording our audio, so there will be later a slick produced version of this. So if you're like, oh man, don't worry about it. We got it covered, guys. I'm a stickler for quality, and I got you covered. Me and Popeye, we're not going to let you down.
Yeah, we're going to do our best.
So
we're here for you. We're here for you.
Totally. Oh, crap. I was going to do this off air, but we had very little time before. So, Popeye, I would like you, if you would be so kind, to send a special notice or shout out to Teresa, if you would.
Absolutely. Teresa, you're the most wonderful human being on the planet. I gratefully appreciate anything that it is that you do, because if you're a friend of David's and Krista's, then I would like for you to be a friend of mine.
Even more. Mother-in-law.
Yeah, she's my mom.
But
well, why didn't you say so? That's even better. God,
I just wanted you to know that she expressed a very strong appreciation for your appearance on my show.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. That's amazing. I have no idea why, but
because you're you.
I mean, listen to the show later. We'll talk about it later, guys. We got to start the show because So everybody, we're gonna have an awe-inspired hush. The theme song will kick in as usual, and then we're gonna start rolling. So Popeye, buckle up.
You're listening
ready to rock and roll.
FFOP Radio.
Reach the audience.
Hey everybody, and welcome to the show. My name is Dave, and this is Hangout and the Hangout series of FFOP Radio. Yeah, I thought of a name finally.
Woo.
Guys, since you're here and you've been here since we started, let's cut through the crap and not be coy. You showed up for one reason and one reason alone, and that reason is the man behind Farside, one of the men behind your favorite Trainwreck, and I guess also there were other people in Farside too, so that's an unfair sweeping generalization.
But they're not here.
They're not here though. We're not worried about that. I got the guy right here in my metaphorical or on my metaphorical couch. Popeye Vogelsang on the show, man.
Hey, how's it going?
Doing good. I hope everybody got to hear those interviews before they came here, because what I wanted to happen was, for everybody uninitiated, you need to have your Popeye 101. That was part 1 and 2. 2 was mostly just sort of auditing a drunken lecture.
It was so good,
that was
though.
a rough one,
This is
dude.
true.
So also I wanted to bring up something. As the night did go on, when we got very swept away in the moment and the inebriance
And heated.
I wanted to tell you that
yeah.
I felt compunction for my truculence towards you.
Okay, can I look those words up before we continue this
Just
conversation?
like Sisyphusian.
And that is exactly why. That is why I was gonna.
Well, I mean, I'm a fan of secopedalianism, but does that mean you were angry, or you were happy about it?
I was overly argumentative, let's say.
Yeah.
I did not. That was not one of my takeaways. Just
I appreciate that. That apology rescinded.
Yes. No. Take it back. Like what? Like I feel like we're friends now. We don't have to do that.
Oh, okay. Then we'll just move forward.
No, we'll move forward. I'd say whatever you want. And by the way, if I can point out, thanks for referring to me as a man. One of the men in Farside, one of the men in your favorite Trainwreck.
Do you hear young boy often?
No. Well, I feel like one most of the time. I don't know what I'm doing I don't know what I'm doing most of the time. So when somebody reminds me that, oh, you are in fact an adult, it's like, oh yeah, okay, good. I'm glad you think so.
It's nice to be recognized, isn't it? Even if it's like something as basic.
It is. Yeah, no, acknowledgement is it's a wonderful thing. Yeah, that's great.
All right.
So thanks.
So a couple of things, Popeye. I've been writing, obviously, I told you I've been writing notes all day, so I have to get through these because I thought of them and I needed to write them down and I needed to say them out loud to you. So first of all, I want to pitch you a TV show. It's going to be basically
wow.
You're going to love it.
Best podcast ever. We're already like getting into like awesome stuff.
Yeah, you're going to love this idea. So it's basically a ripoff, but I think it'll work because nobody remembers the source material. I'm going to call it Hanging with Mr. Popeye. And so it's going to be me and you, and we'll both have daughters, Tia and Tamara. They'll come back. I'll play the role of Jack A. You play, Mr. Cooper, and we basically just rip off the whole series, but you're a music teacher instead of a basketball teacher.
All right. Yeah, no, I am familiar with that show, and I enjoyed it very thoroughly. I've never taken a music lesson in my life, so I wouldn't know how to teach anybody music. But maybe that could be
good news.
One of the underlying that could be one of the underlying themes of the show. Like, I don't really know what I'm doing.
That's fine. Mr. Cooper wasn't really a basketball coach. He was just an actor. You would just have to be. You just have to act. Like all we'd have to do.
I have to act like a music teacher.
Yeah.
Okay.
Basically, we'll just every time you walk in a scene, we'll have you like carrying a new zany instrument. Like, oh, there's Mr. Popeye with his old viol, and then maybe someday you come in with just a bunch of French horns and fall through the door, and it's like that classic sitcom sort of comedy moment.
I've always been a fan of the lute because the name's funny.
Yeah,
the lute and the oboe. They're just fun to say.
Yeah,
so yeah, okay, all right, I'm on board. If you can hook us up with a development deal, then you got me. I'll work for scale. It's cool.
I've pitched a few shows in this show's past. This is not the only endeavor I've ever embarked upon. But this is below like Small Claims Chop. It's below. Well, I've got a whole list I've got to submit, and everything just sort of my favorite. And this is probably going to get moved at the top. Is Andy the time traveling incest lawyer? If you need that unpacked, it's basically like Quantum Leap. So it's Quantum Leap. Andy, my co-host, is traveling through time, fighting famous cases, like maybe Roe v. Wade or the Scopes monkey trial. He inhabits the body a la Quantum Leap, but he cannot jump to the next body until he makes it with a blood relative.
He makes it with a blood relative.
The time traveling incest lawyer, Popeye.
Yeah,
I think it's pretty heavily.
you have me with the title, but gosh, I don't know why nobody wanted to pick that up and run with it. I mean,
I've had to workshop the script a few times. I've gotten some notes, but it's
a few times, and you're still going with this.
I refuse to quit, Popeye.
He's not a quitter.
Yeah, I can see that.
Go Heels for Life says, hello, Popeye from SoCal.
Hey. Well, yeah, Krista's going to keep an eye on the chat for us, so she'll be chiming in. Also, another thing I was doing today, Popeye, was handing out dinosaur profiles. Because, long story short, there was this quiz going around that would tell you what dinosaur you are, and I took issue because I think every answer was wrong. So,
okay. Can we? No, I don't want to interrupt. No, please continue. Because I've seen some of your posts, and I'm like, what's with the dinosaurs? There's a lot of dinosaurs happening in your life.
Yes,
and
it's true.
I find them fascinating as well. But I want you to please continue with this. But then I want you to, because as we've learned from our previous conversations, I'm also an interviewer, and so I want to know about you.
I expected this.
We are going to use your term, unpack your dinosaur obsession. So, so please continue with what you were saying, and then I'll just wait my turn.
So,
just want to give you a little warning.
Right. I totally expected this, and that's why the FFOP5 is probably going to be a major production later.
Yeah.
So, but put that aside, put that out of your head. Let's just relax, and here's what I want you to do. So I've been handing out dinosaur profiles, species, if you will, based on the person, and not to brag, but I'm pretty good at reading people. So I had friends who were there. There was a pterosaur, we got hadrosaurs, ceratopsians, but you, Popeye, I had pegged before I even put the post up. So you're gonna have to look this up later, obviously, because there's no way you're gonna know this name off the top of your head. But the typing square could figure it out. You are 100% an Allura Titan. So.
Oh, I've always wanted to be an Allura Titan.
That's good.
No, I never heard of that. I'm sorry.
So we touched upon.
Lay it on me.
We touched upon your last name being Birdsong.
Okay.
So Allura Titan means giant swan.
Oh.
So, and the Allura Titan is this huge, maybe the biggest hadrosaur, very, what most people call run of the mill, but it's in the same family as every other musical dinosaur. You've seen the Parasaurolophus with the big snorkel on the back of its head?
No.
Damn it. You've seen a duckbill dinosaur?
Sure.
Okay. Same family.
You're miles ahead of me, man. I'm just trying to follow.
Just trust me. Just trust me. When you look this up and you pull up Wikipedia and you see Allura Titan, you read up the article, you're gonna be like, he was 100% right.
Okay.
So it's this giant hadrosaur, and it is a master musician because all of that ilk is built with an in head horn system. So I think if we're going Popeye, we're going. Admittedly, I'll give you the everyman sort of thing. That's why I made you a hadrosaur, but it had to have a musical element. That's why it's the Allura Titan, and the bird elements. That's a 3.
Oh snap!
Wow. I think you just got a PhD in something now.
Maybe.
I like how, Krista, there was no hesitance with you saying, "Yep." That's amazing, and that's a lot more than my little brain can handle.
It is possible that I overanalyze things.
Well, I wouldn't say that. I'd say that you're analytical, and you definitely got a certain amount of brain space in a certain little part of your brain, and you know how to put that together. And well, now I'm going to be up all night. Thanks.
Hey, you know what?
I got to look this up, and I'm like, God, what kind of dinosaur am I?
I'll email it to you too. I'll look a picture and everything. So, Popeye, now that that's all out of the way, that was just the notes. That was the garbage that I had to spill before we got to the real show here.
So, Cherish says hi.
Oh, hi, Cherish. Welcome to the show. Thanks for showing up.
Jared says, Popeye, greetings from Connecticut. It's past my bedtime.
Jared Knappich. Oh man, yeah, he's awesome. He's became a friend. We played a show together about a year ago, and some of those people you stayed in touch. Hey Jared,
Cool.
thanks for tuning in, buddy. And I miss you. Sorry your tour out here didn't work out because of COVID. But
We're
yeah,
all having to pivot.
we will hang out and we will rock soon. One of these days. Thanks, man.
Mark says that book looks blank.
Well, it's a little. I mean, technically, mostly it is, but trust me, there is writing. So this is my interviewer, my analytical side coming out. This is a perfect, what I have found to be and crafted personally, a perfect psychological profile nailed down to 5 questions.
Okay.
So, Popeye. Question number 1. What is something that you're into that most people aren't or that don't know about? Like, so for example, like The Rescue is out, music is out. I want something that you're into that maybe you don't share, or something esoteric, somebody close to you would be like, huh?
I am kind of obsessed with using coupons.
Okay, that qualifies. So to what degree?
Well, you said I'm not allowed to talk about music or cats, which is kind of like, one of those 2 things is sort of the core of my life. I'm not going to tell you which one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, even if I have plenty of money, if I get a coupon, I'm just like, yeah, and I get super fired up about it. Yeah. So I'm luckily we're at a day and age where you don't have to necessarily clip coupons. They just come on your phone, but
it's all digital.
Still like to clip coupons. There's just like a satisfaction with like,
oh yeah,
it's like it's almost like playing around at Texas Hold'em when you you go to the checkout and you're like, bam, that's my ace.
Full house.
Giving me 50 cents off of this organic romaine lettuce. Yes, you are.
There is something still about a tactile experience. If you grew up with books, you're never going to not love books. If you grew up clipping coupons or had a mother with a coupon wallet.
Oh yeah, my mom had one.
Holy crap. I can't tell you how many coupon wallets I've seen come and go out of, like, if this were like a Sands of Time movie where everything was moving super fast, it would be coupon wallet after coupon wallet rising and then sinking into the dust with like 50 cents off Dawn flying away against the pyramids.
Yeah, but why wouldn't you enjoy that experience? I mean, it's amazing. And when you can find, and like I got club cards for every retailer around town, and it's like, it just kind of gives me a good feeling that I don't know. I feel like I accomplished something in addition to, the first and foremost, it was you have to go to the store and you have to buy this. You can find it on sale.
Yeah.
If you got a coupon for it.
Listen,
my God, like the swagger that I have when I'm like walking through the parking lot, like, oh yeah, man. And then when I come home, cannot wait to tell my wife about it. Even there are a million other major issues happening on the planet, but I want you to know I use this little scrap of paper, and I'm just gonna like take a little victory lap around the backyard for a minute.
Here, let me lay it out for you, because it's simple as this. You are a hunter. You live for the thrill of the hunt. Let's say you're going, like, let's say you're going to the grocery store, no coupons. You're a lone caveman with a single spear.
Oh,
you
man.
are worried.
Yeah, that is a dangerous time.
You got coupons in your pocket. You up that ante. Now you got a quiver of arrows, and now not only do you get to go in and slay the evil mammoth of Triscuits, you get to bring the haul home and celebrate it.
Exactly. Oh, exactly. And the other thing is, you got to keep in mind that you're not the only one that got this coupon. So you got to like plan your day to make sure, like, I want to make sure.
Be prepared to take somebody down.
Popeye is a true hunter.
Oh, man.
A hunter of men. Right. Coupons.
A hunter, I'll just say a hunter of coupons. Yeah, let's just go with that.
You still haven't started clipping the most dangerous of prey.
Chair says, I love seeing the cashier's face when you have a good coupon haul.
It is.
Oh, yeah. I want to make that clear. 99.9% of the time, I use the self-checkout. I did that before COVID because, to me, okay, here's another little if you're looking for random little factoids,
Mhm.
I like using the self checkout because I feel it's almost like playing a video game.
Sort
And
of.
I want to figure out how quickly and efficiently I can do it. But you gotta mash a bunch of buttons and stuff,
There is a timer.
And I will purposely buy produce that doesn't have the little sticker on it, and it's like, all right, item lookup. I gotta punch in how quickly can I spell out zucchini? How do you spell zucchini? I think it starts with a Z, and I just want to go for it. And yeah, I don't know. It's just gonna. I want to think that it might stimulate my brain a little bit. I don't know if it actually does, but then you got to think about the people that are waiting behind you.
That's the X factor.
And you're using your own bags and how am I going to pack this, because I am not a trained grocery store worker, and I just want to try to rock this as best that I can. So
my only advice.
I love going to the grocery store for all of these different reasons. It's one of the Oh man!
Listen,
okay, another episode. Grocery store adventures.
Well,
We're gonna talk about that.
You should be
I'll
writing
write
these
that
things
down. So we got wine and grocery.
Yeah, start shouting them down a little bit.
But keep in mind, Popeye, it's a slippery slope. One day you're taking the fruit and vegetables that don't have identifiable markers, and the next day you're racing for pinks around the devil's backbone. So I want you to watch out with that rebellious attitude, my friend.
Sounds like you have a story behind it.
Yeah, well, one day you pull one sticker off a Fiji apple, the next day there's corpses littering the highway outside of the devil's backbone, and then I feel guilty. Anyway. All right, Popeye. No, I like that. I like the coupon thing. That was a compelling answer. I like that.
Yeah.
Number
it is
2.
What it is, man. Hey, okay.
Number 2. Give me a band that you could listen to exclusively for the rest of your life. Did we do this already? I feel like we did this.
No,
we did not.
Okay.
And the answer is The Clash.
The Clash. Okay.
Yes.
So why is that?
They were the band that really started it all for me as far as my journey down the punk rock path.
Totally
I was about 10 years old, and we had talked about music, but specifically this answer, and I have thought about this scenario.
I'm glad. Most people don't.
As unplausible as it is, am I really going to be stranded on a desert island and have an iPod? No, that's not going to happen.
But
however,
who knows?
Yeah, because I'm totally gonna get Wi-Fi and have access to Spotify or whatever. But yeah, the Clash is a band that I never get tired of, and they win in so many. They're one of the things that I've always loved about bands, and in a lot of ways, Farside, to me at least, whether on a conscious or subconscious level, kind of patterned ourselves after that template, because the Clash went all over the place. They would have super hardcore, high octane stuff, but then they would go into reggae and dub and poppy stuff, and
some of those bands out there.
They just went everywhere.
Yeah, I like people who can branch out and change their sound.
Yeah, the experimenting that they did is something that I always very, very thoroughly enjoyed. So, yeah, and from a practical perspective, they also have a really large discography. So if I was on that desert island, they got a lot of records, and so it was well, this is going to keep me busy for a while.
Yeah, I always, if not having a large catalog, I always recommend at least somebody maybe still active, so you have the chance of getting something that you've never heard before.
No.
All right. This is another big one that a lot of people fail. Not going to lie to you. 50% of the people fail this question. So,
okay.
Popeye, you got 4 limbs, but you have to lose one right now. Which one is it?
Oh boy.
My left arm.
What? Your arm?
I don't use it that much.
What? Why? Here's my question. Why not a leg?
Hold on a second. Well, because if it doesn't have a leg, then I'm not going to be able to move around too easily. But I do. I mean, I'm right-handed. I could manage, and Oh, and wait a second. Why is this? How can you get this answer wrong.
Because here's the
You've
logic.
already decided.
Oh yeah.
That there's a right answer and a wrong answer.
Yeah.
So why are you even asking me?
Listen, there are answers that are 100% wrong, 75% wrong, 50% wrong, and there's one that's 100% right. So you don't ever take an arm.
Whatever you say, bro.
Why
not?
Cool. If the option is 4, the arm is never on the table, because here's the whole thing, Popeye. The number of joints. You take an arm, you lose your elbow, your wrist, everything in the hand. You lose a foot, because here's the thing: you need your hand. If you lose a leg, they can replace it with 2 sections of pipe with a hinge in the middle, because you don't necessarily need a full-blown foot.
Yeah,
okay, okay, well, first of all, I didn't realize that there was a second part to this question.
Oh, there isn't.
Just thought I had like 1 second to give you an answer, so we can keep things moving along here. And and I I like being able to move around the house and go out to the backyard, and if I want to, feed water the plants or something, like I only need one hand to do that. And
let's say you're watering the plants. You got your right arm. You're watering the plants. Here comes one of these big ass moths that just shows up out of nowhere every once in a while to fly in your face.
A moth?
Yeah, you're screwed. It's gonna hit you in the face. You just leave dust everywhere, and you're gonna be there holding the hose, looking foolish. You need.
First of all, I do not use a hose to water the plants. I fill up a water canister because I want to feel like Mary Poppins.
Okay.
And and second of all, moths don't bite. They're just gonna fly in my face, and that's a horrible scenario. You still want
to shoo it away. Well, I want it to be low stakes. I'm not gonna send a wolf.
I just gotta. Well, yeah, because if I had 2 arms, I'm totally gonna take on a wolf.
Yeah. First of all, you start spraying with the hose. The other arm's for punching. It's like a
hose.
shark. Or sorry, the watering can. Use the watering can. Like, do some like 2 arms.
No,
all right.
Just listen, get rid of the left. Whatever.
I'm not going to try and change your mind.
Well, you're not going to. So what's the point of you attempting to?
I just need people to know all sides of the story, because I'm fair and I am impartial. So people,
no, you are not. You are clearly not. No, you're not. This was a trick question and a trap, and but frankly, I don't appreciate it. I don't play guitar that much, and I my left.
That's another thing.
I have a watch and a wedding ring, and it's just it's just kind of there. I'm just when I cook, I just I use the right hand, and if it's I'm not a southpaw. In other words.
All right. My theory is you'll live to regret that should you ever lose your left arm.
But again, in what scenario is someone going to walk up to me and say, "Well, not only are you going to live on a desert island with one band to listen to, you're going to lose a limb." It's not going to happen.
Listen, I'm not saying this is not going to be a normal day. This is going to be the weirdest day of your life, but it is going to happen.
Oh, I mean, I hope it doesn't happen, but no. I'm prepared for it, and I'm backing it up, man.
All right. Listen. Don't get me wrong. I love dedication to something, and that will come into play later. So don't you worry about that. All right. So number 4, Popeye. Here we go. Number 4.
Okay.
What animal would you like to test drive the body of, just for like a long weekend? Let's say you're going in there for 3 days. You got a nice long weekend. It's 4th of July. You're gonna go. Hey, I'm gonna go pop my brain into an animal body. Give it Give it the gears. What are we choosing?
Well, it might be kind of obvious. Maybe a cat.
Okay, but house cat, big cat, bobcat. What are we looking at?
Just one of the house cats, because then I could hopefully figure out
what the hell.
No, you know what? I'm gonna retract that. Okay. I want to be in the body of a rabbit, because we have a couple of rabbits. And they are the most expressionless animals you've ever worked with or tried to deal with in your life. And we spend so much time, we think we're providing our rabbits the most glorious life, and they just give you this. They just give you this blank stare, and you're like,
eyes.
Yeah.
Are you happy? Are you scared? Are you anything? No, you don't. Nope. You're just gonna kind of hang. Okay, that's cool. So But with cats and dogs and most other animals, they'll give you an indication of what's going on. Rabbits, no, they're just.
We've had this conversation personally. I think rabbits and horses are of the same ilk. I don't get horse people because every horse person I've ever known, and living in Arizona, I've known a lot of horse people. They always tell you, look in their eyes. You tell that they love them. I have never seen one horse act any differently than another remarkably. Whether the owner reported to be in love or hate with their horse, I never saw much of a difference because those eyes are like shark eyes.
There, you just see blankness and just the darkest depths of purgatory. Frankly, I don't know what you're thinking.
The only saving grace of a horse is it'll take your ass somewhere. A rabbit you can eat, so they both have silver linings, but both like dead ends, like behind the eyes.
Yeah, but no, you're correct. Horses can have a more of a purpose, and I don't want to besmirch a living creature. Not that I'm an animal rights activist by any means, but it's like, well, okay, you're part of the family. You live here, and we want to take care of you and make it. But that's really all you do, huh? You just kind of sit there and just
your whole thing, man. But
that's your whole thing.
But here's what I get the rabbits because they're essentially the grass of the animal world. They are there for other things to live off of.
Yes, they are. They are prey animals.
And so that's the thing. They don't need any deeper critical thought. They just need to be like, eat shit, live.
They just need to survive.
But horses are higher. They once you reach a certain size and mass and your brain reaches a certain complexity, there should be something there. But I feel like if you showed me a really smart horse and a really dumb horse and they were standing right next to each other and you were like $1 million, you could pick the smart horse, it would be the flip of a coin.
Wow.
For me.
I've been horseback riding several times. I've known some horse people, but it doesn't sound like as to the extent that you have. But I guess I've never been able to tell the difference between a smart horse and a dumb horse. It's like, oh, you're cool. All right.
Are there horse people in the chat?
And you're bigger than I am, and I'm going to respect you for that. Whereas a rabbit, it's like, all right, get out of the way.
I will definitely give a horse more respect and a wide berth simply because they can stomp my ass into the dirt.
They will wreck your life.
Woof. Yeah. All right. So here's another qualifier. Since you said rabbit, most people choose wild animals, so the environment seems to be, taken for granted. But so we're rabbit. Are we wild rabbit? We jackrabbit? Or are we like house rabbit?
Oh no, I'm talking about specifically the ones that live here because we don't know what we don't know what they're thinking, and we have had so many long conversations, my wife and I. It's like, do you know what
these rabbits?
Like, I don't know. Like, we just read articles and we're like, well, I guess they're supposed to like this, but they seem okay.
It's so interesting to me because here's what all of my questions serve. Spoiler alert. It illustrates a person immediately because if someone says, I want to be, here's what we get falcon, we get cougar, we get this, we get big animal, big dangerous, or we get, I want to be a cat or a dog or whatever. Because in people's wildest fantasies, they say, I want to wake up Saturday morning and be a peregrine falcon. And Popeye says, when I wake up tomorrow, I want to be 30 feet to the left as a rabbit.
Yeah. Well, because
it's the curiosity though.
Yeah, and also, like not having opposable thumbs doesn't turn me on too much. So I might have wings, but still, it's going to be like, oh man, now what am I supposed to do? Like, I could fly around for a bit, but
my whole thing is like, I don't want to do everything with my mouth.
Yeah,
I agree.
Stuff
and as we've made it clear, I can manage with one arm, man. So I can get by with all of that. But I understand that. Like, I want to be the most badass king of the jungle, and I want to be this crazy being that's doing this other thing. And I'm like, well, I mean,
here's the other beauty of it, though.
I just want to know what the hell these rabbits are thinking. So
here's the caveat, Popeye. It's going to be your brain and their body, so you're not going to get their thoughts. But you also have successfully removed yourself from the cycle of predation. So that's an easy 3 days.
Yeah.
Yeah, I suppose.
Hang out with the other rabbit.
Yeah, we're not hiding from coyotes. You get alfalfa pellets.
Oh yeah.
There you go.
and some really high. We always get the very high quality Timothy hay.
Yeah, there you go.
Organic leafy greens twice a day, and it's you just. I mean, to be able to lay about and go to the bathroom every like 10 minutes approximately, and just. That sounds like a pretty good life, to be honest with you.
There are so many. I don't get the strangeness of animals who constantly shit. Will always be a mystery to me, but that's also maybe another show.
Yeah.
Agreed. Okay, jot that one down.
Yeah, we're on 3 now.
This is the 5th and final question, Popeye.
Okay.
Very important. On a scale of 1 to 10, how much do you love Steven Seagal? This is an important one. No pressure.
That is it. No, that is something to think about, because
it's weightier than you might think.
No, I recognize that, because are we considering Steven Seagal when he was an active, popular actor, or where he is now? And I don't want to sound like I'm talking shit. And so, do you find a good average? Do you tap into your younger years? Are you just thinking ahead? How much do I love Steven Seagal?
I don't know.
And
Mark says, is it really something to think about?
It is. And here, if this helps, Popeye, I'll help.
And
you.
I don't want to. And I don't want to just say 5, because that's a cop out.
Yeah. Don't jump to that conclusion. But let me break it down. I'll give you a hand, because there are 3 basic periods of Seagal in the Seagaliverse. It's his own divine comedy, if you will.
Yeah, okay.
So you have the first years. You have the first years, which is the Inferno, the best skill-wise and acting-wise Seagal will ever be. That's from like beginning of like Under Siege or whatever to like mid 90s. We're gonna say like Exit Wounds, or that one he did with Keenan Ivory, Glimmerman. That was a good one.
Oh yeah.
So that's when that ends. Then we have from there to like 2010, and that's mid Seagal. That's the purgatory of Seagal.
That's mid Seagal.
That's mid Seagal. Wow. So that is your Purgatorio. That is the growing in size and decreasing in talent and screen time.
Mm-hmm.
Also the most ironically funny. Then we move on to the Paradiso, the final stage, the final curtain of Steven's career, where literally everything he does is filmed in Bulgaria, off the books, and is straight to Netflix.
All right. Okay. Good on you, because I was thinking that Glimmerman was when it was like, oh man,
that's the tipping point.
But there was good point, tipping point. I'm going to give it a high rating, because I thoroughly enjoyed a lot of his movies when I was younger. Okay. Above the Law,
yes,
I really like that one.
Under Siege 2,
that's a good one.
My favorite.
Under Siege 2.
Yeah, that's my favorite one.
The pun is no longer useful, because they are no longer under anything. They are on a train.
Yeah.
It should have been On Siege 1.
Mark asks, has Seagal attained his ultimate form yet?
Listen, if Seagal joins the Church of Scientology, I might have found the perfect weirdo that would be like, listen, I love L. Ron Hubbard and I love Steven Seagal. If Steven picked up L. Ron,
somehow manage.
Oh boy, my head might explode.
All right, you know what? I'm going to give him a 7.
That is a sick ass answer. And by sick ass, I mean barely passable. Because between 4 and 7 is like the mid range, which is kind of dicey. But since you're close enough to like the higher rankings,
I'm on the top end of medium.
We're going to give it a pass.
Because I loved Above the Law, but come on, if you go back and look at it, come on, is that a cinematic masterpiece? Didn't get nominated for any Oscars or anything like that.
Nothing.
But when you're a young guy and you just want to see a dude just beat up other dudes, they're pretty great movies.
Or if this is also something you could track with Steven Seagal's movies. If you watch from start to finish, you can see his jet black hair, thin and gray, and then immediately snap back into place. And then eventually turn into an actual like motorcycle helmet with a chin strap. And it's fucking weird.
Yeah. I also wanted to give him an acceptable rating, just to who knows where he is right now. He could be around Scranton, and he's like, hey, So it's podcast. So wasn't into it.
I don't know. I feel like he doesn't go to the East Coast.
I feel like he doesn't go very many places that don't.
He could be anywhere. I don't trust it.
All right, Popeye.
Yeah.
Listen, that was the FMOP5, and good news, you did not lose any respect in my eyes.
Okay, I appreciate it.
Hooray!
Hooray! So, Popeye,
thank you.
You know, this is something that I'm sure everybody's been looking forward to, and now are impatiently waiting for, listening to me jaw jack. But would you like to play a song for us?
Oh, sure. No, I got really engrossed in everything else that we were.
Yeah, I'm sure everyone else is like, get to the fucking music.
Do a thing.
We came here for Popeye.
So guys, first song, we're gonna mute ourselves. So take a listen to this, and also keep an eye on the typing square. So Popeye, whenever you're ready, I'm foaming at the mouth almost.
Oh, come on. All right.
I definitely am.
Thank you both. I am going to play your favorite Trainwreck song because that was the whole reason.
Oh, yeah.
and impetus how we met in the first place.
Mm-hmm. It's our cornerstone.
All those years ago. So I'm just going to go for it. If it's okay with you, I'm going to take my headphones out so I can hear myself a little better.
Yeah, just keep that microphone close to somewhere, your mouth.
Yeah, you'll get what you get.
Yeah,
okay.
I mean, you know, I'll take what I get. Now he can't hear me, and I can say whatever. I can say whatever I get. Okay, here we go.
No, I was kind of teasing there. All right. I crossed the line, but I was willing to pay for it. I melted through your hands, and I couldn't be saved from it. The rings upon our fingers vanished as I fell in your eyes. And now I know I'll be replaying every kiss in my mind. So you better not be left alone tonight. I told myself that I have to refrain from this. Then I saw you smile, and I knew that was dangerous. Some harmful flirting and a couple drinks and tear us down. And now time I made it home, I have rewritten my vows. So you better not be left alone tonight. So leave your wings hanging on the door. Just for tonight I can call you baby. And tomorrow we can say goodbye. Till the next time you come around. So come around. So leave your wings hanging on the door. Just for tonight I can call you baby. And tomorrow we can say goodbye. Till the next time you come around. So come around. You press your lips against me and I know I should be apart. But I don't feel sorry, so I'm not apologizing at all. So you better not be left alone tonight. No, you better not be left alone. I crossed the line. Ooh, I crossed the line. Across the line. Across the line.
Oh my gosh! Applause! Everybody in the chat window
Oh,
should
man,
be
the first-
applauding.
yeah, the first cut is the deepest. Yeah, the first song is always the worst one. So sorry for the little mistakes I made there. Glad you enjoyed it.
Punk rock,
Oh,
man.
man.
Tune your face.
Yeah,
Awesome.
tune your face, bro.
Tune your face, bro.
Yeah.
That's fuck, man. Okay, so Popeye, thank you so much for that.
Oh, it's my pleasure.
So-
Thanks for inviting me.
Let me clue you in and our chat, our typing square as well. Can I, if I send you a link, will you be able to open it and look at it?
Oh gosh, I don't know. I'm kind of afraid to touch anything. To be honest with you, I'm just trying to make sure everything's still recording over here. Well, what is? I mean, I could try.
So-
what's the link?
Okay, so let me just type it in, or I'll put it in your Skype here.
Right.
So everybody knows it's, here's, I've got your favorite Trainwreck and I've got Farside albums here, but it's so hard to find just Popeye related stuff. So I've been working on this for a while, trying to get all this together, and by the skin of our teeth, this project came together.
Mm-hmm.
So if you look at our store there, Popeye, we've got some Popeye related merch.
Well, okay, I just saw something Teespring pop up. Let me hold on a second. Hopefully you don't lose me.
That's fine. We'll get you back if that happens. But if you take a look at that store there, I want to get your opinion, because here's the story.
Okay.
I'm desperately trying to get Revelation Records to re-release the Monroe Doctrine. Even though I got a copy, I think everyone else should get it. So I was like, man, there's no Popeye stuff. There's no Popeye stuff. You can get Farside
What in the
shirts.
world is this?
So Popeye,
What in the world is this?
Listen, I went out and found
man.
graphic designers and pulled 3 images together. What you are looking at is the Be Like Popeye line through FFOP. But
oh man,
listen, I'm not even halfway done yet, so just chill and then you can react in a second. So when you click on that and see all that cool Popeye shit, because it is fucking rad, when you buy that, all the proceeds for the Popeye stuff go to you for your animal rescue.
Dude, what?
So,
oh my god, this is insane!
Isn't that cool? So there's 3 logos. There's 3 logos. We have
that's
Popeye Simple.
That's putting it lightly to say that it's cool. Jeez.
So take a peek. I hammered these people too. I would not accept less than the best. I was like, they kept sending me stuff back. I'm like, this does not look like Popeye. God damn it! You take it back and you fix it.
Yeah, we had a lot of revisions.
So 3 logos.
Oh, what?
Check out the Be Like Popeye Simple. We've got Popeye in the Moon, and we got the Popeye Luxury. So get that shit. There's no strings attached. I'm not going to keep any of it. It's going to go to Popeye for all the rabbits and the cats.
Oh, man. This is, you said you
listen.
said you had a little surprise and stuff for me. I had no idea you were.
Dude, we're live. Quit doing this to me. Quit doing this. So
I don't know what to say.
Don't worry about it.
This is amazing.
Listen,
Okay,
when it is almost the least I can do when compared to what I've gotten in return. So and don't get me wrong, this is also half selfish. I'm gonna buy all this shit and wear it myself because I think it's cool.
Oh hell yeah! I was selfish and put the things that I wanted in there.
On the store, there's no reason to have a Popeye throw pillow. I want one, so I made one.
Oh,
So
Our son is gonna wear one.
yeah, we've got toddler shirts.
Jeez.
So when you go there, and that's going to be like the only thing I'm going to push from now on. I don't give a shit about Patreon. So at the end of every episode, that's going to be what we push.
Okay.
So, and dude, I think it came out. I was so scared. That it was not going to. And literally, it was an hour ago that Krista was finalizing everything, and we were getting everything set up. And I was like, please, dear God, come together. And bam. So that will be a permanent fixture in our store, always up first. So if you come by, check that shit out because I'm gonna buy it.
That is absolutely the most incredible. I mean, I'm looking at this and like,
isn't that so cool?
I love that I have a mole.
I made a special
and a little shock of gray hair on the peak of my scalp. But oh my God, I think it's so wonderful that you're doing it because you want to try to help animals out. Like I don't know what to say. I'm losing my mind right now.
Don't even worry about it.
I'm going to worry about it.
One of the things I cannot guarantee is it will be a cash cow because my reach is only as good as my grasp. So,
sure. Well, yeah. I mean, I will be happy and honored to put that out there. But geez, Dave, isn't that just so cool? Like, forget about all the emotional stuff. It's just cool looking Popeye.
Yeah.
How can it not be emotional? the fact that you took the time to do this in the first place.
Listen, this you had this coming ever since the live stream when you had me crying in my living room. I was like, I'm going to get you back for this, and here it is. Gotcha.
Gotcha
back.
Yeah. Well, you are definitely winning. I'm going to try to see how to get back to our live stream right now, but
also, so here's another thing. I will be releasing something to this YouTube channel probably after this stream. Popeye did some VO work for us, and I was going to send that to you. And then I remembered, holy shit, the logo is all over the video, so I had to cancel it immediately.
Oh, yeah.
I almost ruined the whole surprise half an hour before we rolled, so that was a close call.
Oh.
So I wanted to get that out of the way because if we go long and my camera battery dies and we don't get that out there, I would be very upset.
Yeah.
Wow. Well, I cannot thank you enough. Can you see me again? By the way,
yeah, I totally see you. I never lost.
Okay,
track.
good. I don't skate much. Yeah, I can't thank you enough for the. First of all, for the flattery.
Don't worry about it.
Second of all, thanks for making me look cool. And thirdly, thanks for wanting to try to help out the animals.
Yeah, man.
And thanks for being great people. And I'm so proud to be able to call you both friends now.
I I felt bummed on your behalf. I felt a little bit cheaped out because I was like, hey man, how do I buy your album so you get the most out of it? And you're like, oh, you can stream, you can buy it, this, that, and the other. I'm like, oh, I want to see a check for however much down the road. I want every bit of that profit Popeye's way. We're not dividing this. This is for Popeye and the animals.
Yeah.
And for everybody who wants to look cool.
The animals are cool. I didn't start playing music hoping to make money, so don't worry about that. Thanks for wanting to support, but I have a day job. I can make money.
Right, but this is more just whatever. I just want you to know that no matter what, you got someone in your corner, and obviously going to be a lot more because I hope a lot of people buy this shit and wear it around.
Too, considering all the work you put into it and all the graphic designers you had to call in favors for. I hope it's worth it for them.
This is like if I were sitting here right now and all of a sudden a meteor were to fly through the roof and it'd kill me. It'd probably be all right because this has been the culmination of weeks of work, and now that it's all over, this would be the high point. And remember that thing he did before he died? Yeah, that was pretty cool. Anyway,
Mark says, "I want a Popeye solo album." Ooh.
I would also like a Popeye solo album.
Yeah.
So let's get into the show, Popeye.
No promises there, but thank you for the vote of support. Appreciate that.
So Popeye, now that all that's out of the way, and all the good and important business that everyone needed to know is out there. So let's start chatting and hanging out.
All right.
Are there any plans or anything tentatively in the future for any performances or anything? No more streams, no nothing.
Not yet. I don't play very often anyway.
Which is a bummer.
Well, I mean.
For me,
it depends. Okay, sure. Depends on how you look at it. I just didn't play that much anyway. Like occasionally, someone would offer me a show, and I would play it, but it only happened maybe 2 or 3 times a year, and I was cool with that. but because of COVID, that's going to happen even less for a while. The live stream's the same thing. Like I never set up things for myself. So it's like situations like this where someone will reach out to me and say, hey, you want to do a thing? And it's like, yeah, I'm not doing anything. Yeah. I can bang out a few songs and, you know, we can have a fun time, but
given my druthers and depending on how things shake out, you know, not to be over presumptuous, but I would like to get you set up with a real, like, let's get you into some gear here so we can have, like, let's do concerts every once in a while, man. Let's hang out every once in a while.
I'd like to hang out with you a lot.
Yeah, I mean, obviously I wouldn't make you play music.
And your lovely wife. I'm happy to be on the show, like, pretty much anytime you want. But yeah, you know, I mean, the thing with playing music, I've always loved it, but it was, if it makes any sense, it was never really something that I felt like I needed to do. Okay. If that makes any sense.
Yeah, I get that. There's some things that
I love doing it, but like there are a lot of musicians who are like, I have to constantly be, and I've never been one of those guys. When I'm doing something, I'm super hyper focused and borderline obsessed, if not extremely obsessed about it.
I get that.
But there are also other things that I enjoy too, and I've done so many incredible things, and I'm not looking to, like, fill some kind of a void that I've had from high school because I wasn't one of the cool kids. It's like yeah, I'll play music when I feel like it, but then, as we've discussed, I get really, really super stoked into coupons. Meal planning, and they also satisfy me as well, and taking care of the animals. So yeah, it's nice to dip into it when I have the opportunity, and I'm super grateful that I do. But I mean, honestly, I don't have anything to promote or sell or whatever, and
honestly,
I'm very happy with the way it is.
And I get that, and honestly, like, you know, full disclosure, I'm honestly not legitimately going to be like, get the band back. I'm not going to be one of those guys. Like, if you never pick up a guitar or go into a recording album ever again, I would be bummed, obviously, but I would not count that as a great loss, because that's not the reason why this interaction is happening. Like, you did the things, those were cool, great, good. And I feel like you and I are the same in that regard, because I will pick up a hobby. I will, like, throw everything I've got into it, like jet fuel, and get as good as I can, get immediately tired as soon as I reach what I think is the zenith, and be like, next.
Yeah.
So I get that. Like, there's very few things I've kept around for an extended period of time. One being this show, and two being photography. Everything else is either fallen by the wayside or you know, has eventually shriveled away to something that I occasionally touch back to.
Yeah, like it's good to have other interests, and
it's hard to market yourself that way, though.
Yeah. Well, you know, I suppose that's another thing is like I mentioned, never tried to make any money off of music, so I never, like, tried to market myself as a musician. It was just, and the other thing is, you know, I know you weren't much of a punk rock guy, but the scene that Farside came from, you went into it knowing you're not going to make any money, because it's obscure and it's niche, and, you know, and it's more of like a community and a peer group and stuff. And so,
that was like,
you just got to did it because you wanted to do it, like a hobby. Like,
and I did not have that realization until much, like, you know, we talked about this on the show. But my early influences were my cousins and listening to metal and those classic, you know, Metallica, Megadeth, all those big ones.
Yeah.
And so I didn't come upon punk until I was in high school. But then I had so much to go back through, and punk just sort of leads you into ska, and that leads you down a whole new rabbit hole. And so that's part of the problem, is you're sitting here right now being like, there's nothing good, when there's literally tons of shit that's good out there, but there's so much. Throw a dart at a map, man. Good luck.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly.
So so that's the thing. I love punk, and I would have loved punk if I'd gotten into it earlier because I love the attitude. I love the DIY spirit. I love the undergroundness of it all. I love the grassroots of it all. I love the lo-fi of it all. Even though I'm an audiophile, I still can appreciate that aesthetic.
Yeah. Well, yeah, clearly I'm still hanging on to that low-fi aesthetic. We're on my phone right now. That's how I'm streaming to you. I've got my 2007 MacBook that's hopefully recording it. I keep peeking over. It seems like it's doing all right. You know, the free headphones that come with your phone.
This is the world we live in.
Yeah.
It is.
I will tell you this.
And I love it. I'm into it. Like, I feel like if I can make this work, great.
20 years ago?
But I got cables all over the floor here in the living room.
You have no idea what you have no idea what the studio looks like behind the camera.
It's a hot mess.
This all looks cool on camera.
It does look really cool on camera. Yeah, same as here.
Yeah.
I mean, this looks like a cozy little spot. Like, oh, we're having a little.
What I'm looking at is a tangle of cables and mic stands and mics and mixers and splitters, and it's a disaster.
Yeah, and behind that is me sitting on a couch.
And then Krista's on the other side of this mountain of. We don't see each other during the show. We just throw we wad up notes and throw them over the computers.
Yeah, it's like, get me a drink. So we go get him a drink. And Jason, Mark says, yes, Jason's everywhere.
And Jason's.
Lots of Jasons.
I got lots of Jasons. Also, my Casey Jones, he hasn't left.
Yep.
So Popeye.
Yeah.
You know, so day-to-day life, what's it like? I'm sure like people are just like, hey man, when you wake up in the morning and you're rolling around taking care of these cats, taking care of these rabbits.
Yeah.
Like, so what's happening on like a day-to-day, you know, mundane, what's your life like?
Well,
Wednesday.
Oh, well, Wednesdays are when my wife has her hustle call with her job. That's at 11:30, where they have like kind of like a weekly meeting kind of thing, and everyone has to check in with all that kind of stuff. Not too different from most of the other days, but get up, start making coffee, and then you just kind of take a lap and just kind of go around the house and
assess things.
Just kind of take a head count and see what's happening with all of the animals. It's not a bad idea. Just make sure, right? Is everybody still here? Everybody's still good? We're good. Okay. The coffee's doing its thing. Who needs water? Who needs their bowls filled up? This, that, the other thing. Then I'll step outside and have a quick smoke. And I'm still in my bathrobe. But I'm on the side of the house, so I don't think anybody can see me.
At that early, no one cares.
Yeah.
Yeah, and if they did, it's like, hey, so what? So do that, then get the coffee going. Stephanie's at her desk; she's logged in, doing her thing. Then take another lap, and make sure nobody was forgotten about, and just double check, because there's also the outside animals. And
any moving pieces.
Like
any moving pieces.
Stuff, or like
cats? Well, we do have an outside cat, and but we also have the squirrels and the bird feeders and all that malarkey. And and then you have to take a moment. And then the rabbits need to get their organic leafy greens.
Sure. That's important.
And then pretty much somebody's going to need medication for something. So you have to think about that as well. And usually Stephanie's the one to handle that, because she's got way more experience than I do. But I want to be helpful and at least be the right, like, oh, is it time for so-and-so's medication? when you have a break. That's usually the first half of the day, and then I sit down with a cup of coffee, and then I go through the Associated Press, check my emails, and some other. Yeah, that's about it. I mean, it's really. I mean, I don't know. I mean, were you thinking like, oh well, when I make eggs Benedict and serve mimosas for the missus, and I like, no, it's just
you spin around in a full like Elvis jumpsuit with a pompadour, and then like there's a stage.
Oh God, I wish.
Like your couch turns around, there's a stage, and you jump on a mic. You got one of those sure old 55s for the live show. Constant flashing lights. No, but that's the thing.
Yeah.
Everybody lives like, and the point I'm trying to illustrate is like as much as, and I'm trying to do it as little as possible. But as much as I put you up on a pedestal for certain things, I still want to illustrate that we're all just humans. I'm trying to keep that not only for everybody else, but for myself, because I'll, put on a Farside mix and be like, holy fuck, I know this guy. So I'm just trying to help myself as well as other people to realize that, we're all just people. Some people are dicks, and it doesn't mean that, you have to be famous to be a dick.
Oh, that's true. Yeah.
That's not an exclusive condition.
No, I can totally understand and totally relate to you. And I will say that when I started getting into writing music and playing in bands when I was a teenager, and there were the bands that I looked up to, and when you actually have an opportunity to see them and meet them and hear about them, and these guys who were only a few years older than me, they were mostly talking about like, yeah, I gotta go back home because I gotta work in the morning and I gotta pick up some groceries. And I was like, oh, so you're just a person. Okay.
Yeah.
I
and that's the thing you do. And so that was always kind of inspiring to me. Like, okay, you can still rock in your spare time, but it's okay to be a normal person, because like, seriously, how much partying can you do in a given day? Like, you gotta sleep once in a while, and somebody's gonna have to get your groceries.
We all put our
probably gonna be you,
one leg at a time.
Yeah, and you gotta go to the bathroom, and you gotta pay a bill, and
here's what I will give allowance for.
Do your thing.
Don't get me wrong. I realize that fame and money are large factors for being, transformed into an asshole. But I also want to give people the benefit of the doubt, because like, I am sure even you, like, if let's say this is like, you're in the studio for your favorite Trainwreck, or you're in that cycle and making these albums and doing your work. And here I am on Facebook being like, can I talk to you? Can I talk to you? And you would be in the right to be like, not right now. I've got a big thing on the fucking line, so fuck off. Because you'd be stressed under deadlines, and I get that, but I don't think a lot of people get that. They have this parasocial sort of relationship where they think, "Why aren't you my friend? I listen to all your stuff," and I totally get that. Like, in a way, you sort of ruined me for other people, because no one's gonna get as cool as you ever again. So it's rough.
Come on,
it's like true.
Imagine getting on a bicycle with no training wheels and riding off into the sunset, and then suddenly hitting a brick wall.
No, I learned from a lot of cool people before me, and I think, how do I say this? I think a lot of people who fancy themselves as musicians and artists, as we have just discussed, they want something out of it, which may not exactly be something that serves them well.
Right.
Self-satisfaction should be the first thing, the main reason why you do it. If you want to play music, do it because you love to play music. Don't think about how much money you're going to make, or how many chicks you're going to be able to hook up with, or.
But here's
and people do it, and I understand why people do that, and it's easy to fall in that trap.
But there's the rub. That goes for every industry. I can't tell you how many.
Yes, it does.
How many people I know who make a choice? They say, I can't tell you how many people come to me and say, I'm going to go to school to be a nurse. And I said, is that what you want to do? And they say, no, I don't really like people or being sick or going to hospitals, but they make good money. I'm like, then why the fuck? Good. Why the fuck?
Well, the thing is, it's been thrown down their throat that, oh, you should be an X because of this.
I get it. I get the pressure from society and from parents and friends and whatever. But if you're dedicating your life to something that isn't going to make you happy, it's just going to make you rich or whatever, fuck that. Like, you're going to be a miserable person. Holy
you are.
shit, are you going to be
Agreed.
a person.
Yeah. No, I can say this. I got to do a lot of incredible things, playing music, and all the tours and all the traveling and all the shows that I got to do with the different bands that I played in. Without question, the greatest, absolutely most incredible thing about it was I made more friends than I could ever. I mean, like, my God, if I had to like sit down with a pen and a piece of paper and like write down every friend that it would take me an entire weekend, and that's still happening. Dave, Krista, this is a perfect example right now. Like, we're because of a band I was in, I got to make 2 more friends. And what can be more valuable than that? And so it's like, you can find a million ways to make money, and you can find a million ways to make to make yourself happy. But people in your life, I feel personally that the value of your life is mostly measured by the people in your life. And if you have, and if you're able to make connections with people and have friends and have a good support group when you need it, and then you have an opportunity to be part of somebody else's support group. And
just for example, this show has almost 0 reach, but like, it has opened up some incredible doors and some incredible relationships. Like, just like let's take for.
And I could care less if anybody's watching the show right now. I'm having the best fucking night
and that's
now.
the thing. Like, I get to do this by virtue of just, I don't even know. If you had to say why did you get to do this or how, I don't know.
We're just doing it.
But that's the thing. I've got friends all over the country and all over the world. In almost every state. We've got people in the UK, people in Australia, all over the place. And these are people I'll probably never see in real life. And honestly, the weirdest situation is half the people I know in regard to the show know what I sound like, and I have no idea what they sound like. That's a weird feeling. And I'm sure you feel that as a singer, obviously.
Yeah.
But I interact with these people like through email and stuff. And so, some people
that's really cool that
I've known 10 years. 10 years, never heard their voice.
Yeah.
And that's another thing. So that's why I brought this show back. I said, people can't leave. They're looking for community. I want to build up some more friendships. I want to build. Not only do I want to re-up all the bridges that I did build that I just sort of let fall by the wayside, but it's time to build more. We're all stuck inside, guys. It's time to start reaching out.
Yeah.
Yeah. What else do you have if you don't have people?
That's it, man. If
we should do an FFOP retreat once everything is okay again.
I would love.
Is that episode 4? Do you need to jot that one?
That might be episode 4. I would love, after everybody stopped being crazy, for everyone involved with the show to just show up in Vegas.
Yeah.
And just spend a rowdy weekend. So 2022 tentative date. We'll see what happens.
Okay. That'll give me a lot of time to plan. And
we gotta
try to find a cheap airline ticket.
Things settle down. Yeah, we'll get the Southwest tickets together.
We have a lot of people from the East Coast, so they'd all have to.
It's going to be a big ass party. Don't get me wrong.
Oh, that's right, because you're from Connecticut.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
We got literally from shore to shore. They would all have to convalesce in Vegas for a big ass FFOP party.
Oh, we can renew our vows and have everybody there.
Oh, fuck.
10-year reunion.
Well, I mean, let's wait until we're sure society isn't going to fall apart.
Can I just listen to you guys talk to each other for a little bit?
Well,
I enjoy your interaction. I'm entertained.
You could, but what I was about to do was about to ask for another song.
Oh yeah.
Maybe we'll break it up. We'll play another Popeye classic.
Oh, before you do that, Kayla says, "I'm so there. Though you surprised me with Vegas. I thought the FFOP meetup would be at the Arizona Museum of Natural History."
Listen, don't get me wrong. We could spend a wild afternoon at the Arizona Museum of Natural History, but I'm looking for a long weekend.
Fun is where you find it.
We're looking for a weekend Vegas. We're gonna fucking party. My son will be at my mother-in-law's. Teresa, you're still there.
All right, I see where you're going with this.
Party time. All right, Popeye. So let's hear another song, everybody, and Here we go.
All right, thank you. I'll tip the scale so I can see if there was something I missed. You said you never had a chance to fight for this. Oh, I might be crying, but I'll secretly be cheering on. But if you change your mind, it still won't change what's done. So I need you to close that door. I know you found someone to be amazing for. Pick your heart up off the floor. I know you found someone to be amazing for. Nobody's flying through your window now to say goodnight. Maybe you should consider jumping out tonight. Oh, throw me a rope and you can put me back to where I fell. I try explaining, but I might just hang myself. So I need you to close that door. I know you found someone to be amazing for. Pick your heart up off the floor. I know you find someone to be amazing for. It all comes down, long before your parachute falls to the ground. I can't fly to save my life. I wonder if it's worth a try. So I need you to close that door. I know you'll find someone to be amazing for. Pick your heart up off the floor. I know you'll find someone to be amazing for. This is your crying day. Burn it down for old time's sake. This is your crying day. Burn it down for old time's sake.
Oh my God, Popeye, that is awesome. We are getting fire in the chat. We are getting hearts in the chat. I mean, the typing square.
The typing square.
Thank you very much.
I mean,
Thanks for inviting me to the party.
it wouldn't be a party if we didn't have, you.
Baloney.
You. Yeah.
Baloney. If we didn't have baloney.
That's not just baloney, that's a bunch of baloney.
I don't know about that, Popeye.
Thanks anyway.
We wouldn't have all these people here if it was just David and I.
Yeah, if it was just
talking.
me, they'd be like, man, hard pass.
You'd have me.
That's
That's a party.
true.
Yeah.
Oh man. So we touched on this in the interviews and the podcast and everything, but I don't think we ever got to like this question was not satisfied to my to my standards. So when your favorite train wreck, that from the beginning, you're like, this is going to be a one and done thing, right?
I think in the back of our minds, we just wanted to do a band. We didn't know where it was going to go, but we were also realistic about it, mostly due to our age. But that was about it. Yeah.
But it's so I don't even know how to, like, when that album hit me. Maybe I was just in the right time and in the right place, but I was like, it. So full disclosure, I love the 90s. I love everything about the 90s. I love the aesthetic. I love all the fucking music, like everything that was experimental and indie and punk and everything. I love that aesthetic. So when I hear your favorite Trainwreck and I'm like, oh shit, this is a definite throwback to that 90s power punk rock culture. But it and that's why I felt kind of like, what? This is the only album, because it felt like, and I talked about this on the show, but it felt like the terminus of something that I did not have the beginning to.
Oh,
it felt like a retrospective upon a life and a career. And before I had Farside, I was this is fucking bonkers. Because I said, if this is your first album, how do you do? How was your favorite Trainwreck's first album? Like, this is what we did and this is what we came through. And I'm like, but it's your first album. Little did I know, Popeye was keeping Farside a secret. And then everything clicked.
Well, I suppose we also kind of knew, maybe in the back of our minds or the front of our minds, that the only people that would be remotely interested in your favorite Trainwreck are people that were fans of Farside and Jeff Caudell's band, Game Face.
Yeah, I can see that.
In other words, people that are also hovering around middle age, and they would already be familiar with with previous work. We knew that, like, trying to be a new band, like no one's gonna give a crap. Like, we can't, and especially being in LA, trying to book shows in LA is so difficult, because they're like, well, how many people can you guarantee? Can you guarantee 30 people? I'm like, well, so you want us to play on a Tuesday night at 11:30? Yeah, everybody we know is like 40 or over. That's not gonna happen.
Day jobs,
we'll show up.
Yeah,
exactly. So we tried our best, but we also had that kind of realism that we just wanted to kind of enjoy the experience.
Yeah,
like we were talking about. Like, you want to try to enjoy the experience of writing music and being a band and having a blast at rehearsrsal and trying to play shows here and there. But
I think that was.
But I guess that's where, you not that I'm dissing you, but you weren't part of the hardcore punk community, so you didn't know who the hell we were to begin with.
Right, and that's the thing.
But if you have been, you might be like, oh, this is, these guys, their new band, this new, like, project band that they're doing, and let's check it out. So to me, it's really interesting that was your launching point. Was I discovered this band randomly on Bandcamp, and it's like, that doesn't happen, like, ever. Like, that really happened.
Don't get me wrong. I've described it this way before, but this was lightning in a bottle that was then struck by lightning that arced out of a bigger bottle. There was no way that this should have happened. Like, I was just trolling Newgrounds using buzzwords and hashtags like rock, independent, punk, etc. And full disclosure, I'm not going to dog anybody else I've heard, but when I came across your favorite Trainwreck, there was production value, which immediately made you stand out, because most independent artists don't have that sort of push. And that's what immediately I was drawn to your favorite Trainwreck, because I'm like, one album, a couple demos, they're still available. Buy the vinyl album. But I thought, what the fuck? Like, how is this? What we have here is the final chapter of the Inferno. We have Dante and Virgil emerging from hell, climbing up the devil. And my whole time, and why I kept bothering you is because I was like, where's more? Where's more? This is an incomplete story. This is the terminus of an odyssey. And I'm like, where's the rest of it, Popeye? And you're like, it happened in the 90s, God damn it. I was like, I got the last chapter. Now, where's the rest of it? And you're like, don't know. Bye.
Yeah.
So
I didn't want to. Well, I didn't want to.
I get your modesty, but it's one of the
like,
only.
Farside was a different band, different era. It's a little dated, and I don't want to seem like a salesman. Like, dude, you still didn't check out my other thing.
Your reasons are your reasons, and I went without for years, and you shouldn't feel bad for it.
Maybe a little.
Maybe a little. Well, I don't have a left arm anymore.
Yeah, your left arm is gone.
You're not agreeing with that. So.
And or you're a rabbit.
Yeah, in fact, I could really go for a plate of Power Greens right now.
but yeah, like I was saying, I think if somebody came upon your favorite train wreck, it would not surprise me if they had a similar conclusion where they were like, where's the rest?
There has to be
Where's
something else.
Yeah, I think if nothing else, this is a PSA. Because I don't want anybody else to happen. What I want to happen to anyone else would happen to me. I don't want you to find the last chapter of a book in a bus station and be totally swept away by it, and then never know the title, never know the first 3 chapters, never know any of that shit until someone's like, "Oh yeah, I read that book, and here it is." I want everybody to jump on from the beginning so they can. You need to read the Odyssey from page 1, Popeye. You can't start at page 400.
It's true.
So you start with Rochambeau. Here's. Don't answer this, Popeye. I want the typing square to answer this because I think it'll be interesting.
All right.
If it's Popeye and Farside trivia. If you know this, if you listen to the interview, you obviously know this. But what was the song that Popeye wrote on Rochambeau? Typing square, you're at it. But that's the thing. Bummed about that. My own personal problem. However, we do have some trivia that I want to unpack.
Okay.
We already have the right answer on the chat.
Oh shit! Who was the first one?
Go Heels for Life says Worlds.
Bam! Obviously.
Wow.
Bam.
Thanks, Go Heels for life.
Chat window.
Typing square.
Typing square. Sorry, typing square.
Get it right.
Typing square. You're obviously familiar with this album. I want everybody to weigh in. Give me their favorite album favorite track off that album while I'm talking to Popeye. So Popeye, trivia you let slip to me, which I found interesting, is in regards to, I believe, the drummer of your favorite train wreck. So how did you get? So what led to? I don't want to spoil it because if you want to give the big reveal, I'll let you. How did that happen?
If you want to do the big reveal, you may.
Okay,
sir.
so literally the last thing Popeye said to me the last time we spoke before he hung up.
It was a real move. I'll tell you that.
I loved, like, I just said a name and I said, I'm gonna tell you the name and I'm gonna hang up right after that. Done.
He fucking did.
Listen, I meant to clip that and
then Chrissy, you messaged me and you're like, way to hang up.
Yeah.
And I was like,
it was so funny. I meant to clip it and put it at the end of the last episode, but I spaced because I've got so much to do. But so Popeye says, "Oh, guess who the drummer is? It's Cousin Oliver from the Brady Bunch." So how did that work out? Was he just like, "Oh, I know this guy," or was what? Is essentially what I'm getting
at. Jeff Caudell, the other lead singer for your favorite train wreck, he had been working with Robbie for several years before your favorite train wreck was even an idea.
Sure.
Jeff had done a lot of solo stuff. They were introduced by some mutual friends. Robbie is an extremely talented guitar player, bass player, drummer, producer, has his own recording studio.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. The guy, he's a total savant. And he got in addition to being a child actor. And so, yeah, Jeff and Robbie got introduced to each other. And they started working together on some of Jeff's solo stuff. And then Jeff invited me to participate with some of his solo stuff. And that's how Robbie and I became friends. And then when eventually over the years we wanted to do your favorite train wreck, we were trying to think of who we wanted to play drums for us.
That's so funny.
And because we kind of wanted to take a different tack to it, because a lot of the guys we know from the 90s hardcore and post-hardcore scene, not to diss anybody, but they're just punk rock hardcore drummers, but they don't really know much about rock and roll drumming.
Right. You need a little more nuance.
And Robbie, on the other hand, didn't know a whole lot about punk rock. Definitely not a hardcore guy, but he could definitely play rock and roll drums. And we thought that would be an interesting combination. And so that's So, and it was, and it just, it's just random. He was our friend and our buddy, and we liked making music with him.
It's so crazy because the last time I saw him, here's a trivia question for the Typing Square, and obviously Worlds is winning out by a landslide as everybody's favorite track.
Oh,
but Typing Square, what movie was Cousin Oliver in? I'll give you a hint. It was a sci-fi original, I think. It was a garbage movie. But what
I know the answer.
I'm sure you do. I'm sure he told you. But I want the Typing Square to know.
Yeah.
Because it's nuts. And then the first time I saw this movie, I was like, "Oh my god, is that Cousin Oliver?" So imagine I got that exact same feeling again when you were like, "Guess who the drummer for our band?"
Well, in the Typing Square, Mark knew it was Cousin Oliver before you.
Yeah, Cousin Oliver.
Before you answered.
So maybe he'll know the movie trivia.
Yeah.
I hope so.
Or he's Googling.
Yeah.
Listen,
in this day and age, the fastest person wins at this point.
Right.
but the thing is, like when Robbie was in your favorite Trainwreck, he had like long hair down to the middle of his back.
Yeah.
And he dressed like an LA rock and roll guy, like jeans, Converse.
Yeah.
He was totally legit. But even still, and he's well into his 50s. But even if you saw him on the street, you would still and I witnessed this happening, like when we would play shows and he would be like walking into the show just looking like some random guy, and you would overhear someone say, "Oh my god, was that Cousin Oliver?" Like, because he still has that, because he still wears glasses and he just kind of still has that adorable baby face. And
since I wasn't like, shout out to my cousin Summer, she was the Brady Bunch fan of the family. She was like hysterically addicted, so much so that my brother and I as children were conscripted into a short skit that we taped on a Super 8 cassette that never saw the light of day, but we all basically recreated the Brady Bunch intro using ourselves and my cousin's hair.
Seriously?
Yes,
I
seriously.
love that.
Oh my god.
Oh, that
huge
rules.
Brady Bunch and New Kids on the Block fan. So it was a very strange childhood.
Yeah, that's an interesting
weird mashup.
There. Yeah, definitely. Well, and one of the other great things about Robbie, he's just encyclopedic about music. Mm-hmm. But we would give him all kinds of shit about being on the Brady Bunch, and he totally rolled with it. He was such a good sport about it. Yeah. Well, you don't really know, but then it's just like, hey, I don't want to talk about that. But then we'd be rehearsal, and somebody screws their part, and it's like, hey, way to go, Brady Bunch. He's like, I'll have you know, and then he would turn it into like a comedy bit almost, because he was just hilarious. Yeah, a great musician, and a great friend, and an interesting bit of trivia. It's just it just happens. Not a name drop by any means. He's a friend.
Yeah,
he just happened to become a friend in a band.
Fun trivia, and Mark nailed it with the answer. It's obviously Sharknado.
Really?
Yeah, Cousin Oliver drives a bus in the original Sharknado, saves the kids, and then is eaten by a shark. Like the most ridiculous scene in the movie is Cousin Oliver gets all the kids out, and it's obviously shot very poorly. And then he's just torn apart by sharks. And I'm like, you're going to let Cousin Oliver do that shit? Oh, my God. Whatever.
Yeah.
That's
Sharknado.
Funny. Yeah.
Woof.
Long may it hail. How many sequels have there been? Hey, I'm stoked for him, because I'm sure he gets plenty of residual checks for.
Oh, I'm sure.
Yeah.
Like, that became, like, Sharknado became almost
ridiculous cult kind of thing.
Yes. Yep. It's like the Rambo of shark movies. It's just like, bam, whatever. Rambo 2, Rambo 3, Rambo, John Rambo, Rambo Takes Manhattan, all this other shit. They just blew it out of the water.
Rambo Takes Manhattan. I'd be down for that.
I think in the 80s, started and then also misused a completely awesome principle or concept. Taking Manhattan. The Muppets took Manhattan. Jason took Manhattan.
He did.
Everybody should have taken Manhattan. Everybody.
He took Manhattan for like 4 minutes.
Right. It was kind of a ripoff, but he was still, they filmed for 2 days in Manhattan, and so he was there. I think everybody should have, or if there's still time, take Manhattan.
Kayla says, I feel stuck in a generation gap. I remember Robbie best known from the Kid video, Saturday morning cartoons.
Kid video. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And then Mark says, as a huge horror fan who watches actual bad movies all the time, Sharknado is a fake bad movie.
That is true. That is true.
What is it? What does it even mean, Mark?
So here's what I know exactly what Mark is talking about. Fake bad movies are movies made intentionally shitty for the ironic.
Okay, all right.
The ironic side.
Thank you for clarifying that, because you're correct. Everybody involved with, including Robbie, was like, it's terrible, but they're making more, and what? Why wouldn't they?
Friday the 13th series, each one, no matter how zany, is earnest. Everyone in those movies is looking for their break. In Sharknado, it's Ian Ziering, it's fucking what's her name, Tara
Reid.
Yeah, it's Foxy Brown. It's people who aren't looking to kickstart anything.
Mark says it's ironic.
No, are they going to?
Yeah, it's, and that's the thing. When you try to manufacture irony, it seems cheap. Don't get me wrong. I see why most people jumped on Sharknado, because if you're a non-critical thinker, that surface level irony will be like, oh my God, what a hilarious concept. But the rest of us are like, I don't know.
Yeah, it's just too ridiculous to be real.
That's why I love Steven.
Good.
He
good
has
circle back.
Legitimate irony. You can laugh
at
him.
He gets a 7.5 now.
Yes. I'm going to try and get this baby up to 8. Yeah.
I think it'll be a 9 before we're done.
Passing even more.
It just might be. Yeah.
Oh, yeah. So a lot of crazy stuff in relation to, and that's the just what I'm trying to get at here is even our relationship has been fruitful and has multiplied in relationships, because people are reaching out to me now. I am not to brag. I am now a big enough deal because I got Popeye that people are proactively asking me for shit now, and I'm not having to go begging to them on my knees. Listen, Popeye, a lot of doors in this industry have Popeye shaped locks.
Ooh.
Okay.
That'd be a fun key to have on a keychain.
Oh my God. Also, I keep forgetting this. Hashtag Flamingo Friday, everybody. I'm wearing flamingos. The flamingo's on in the background. I meant to say that earlier. It's Flamingo Friday. I want to get that out of the way before my camera battery dies. So Popeye, obviously we're reaching critical mass of my battery. So I would like to, if we could squeeze in one more song, and then who knows if my only stipulation, I will not voluntarily end the show until I am forced to. Okay. So let's see how long we can stretch this baby. So let's hear some more music if you're up to it.
Yes, I am, and I'm going to play a song, knowing that I was only going to have the opportunity to play a few, and a very, very, very good friend of mine who lives here in Scranton, Pennsylvania. His name is Henry Jenkins. He was drunk texting me before we started our live stream and said, "Are you going to play this?" And I was like, "Yeah, I don't know, dude. I'm only got a few songs." And then it just kind of turned into a demand. And so, but he and his lovely wife Robin are very good friends of ours, and so I'm doing this song for him. Awesome. It's a cover song by Dramarama. One of my favorite 3-chord jams and just one of my favorite songs. It's called Work for Food.
Yeah,
no one really understands. My shopping cart is filled with pens and a top hat and a snare drum and a horn. And a poster and some magazines with my picture, some magic beans and a blanket that I got when I was born. Different people do the same thing every day. I just look the other way, and I keep on rolling, keep on rolling. I can't live without eternal gratitude. 'Cause I will work for food, and I keep on rolling, keep on rolling. I wasn't always paranoid. I sang a song on Uncle Floyd, but the records never sold. That was bad. And my mom still took care of me till I was almost 33. But now she's gone up to heaven to see Dad. Sheriff's came with pistols and their starry sleeves. Gave me 30 days to leave. And I keep on rolling, keep on rolling. No one wants to pay me for my broken heart. So now I got this shopping cart. And I keep on rolling, keep on rolling on. On and on and on and on and on. On and on and on and on. On and on and on and on. Yeah, one really understands why my shopping cart is filled with cans and a top hat and a snare drum and a horn. And a poster and some magazines with my picture and some magic beads and a blanket that I got when I was born. Different people do the same thing every day. I will look the other way, and I keep on rolling, keep on rolling. No one wants to pay me for my broken heart. So now I got this shopping cart, and I keep on rolling, keep on rolling on. On and on and on and on and on.
Oh man, bravo, Popeye!
Yay.
Oh my gosh.
Hey, I warned you I'm a sloppy guitar player, so.
Hey, I can listen to you play and sing all day.
That
Oh, come on.
so
That's
Seriously.
really nice of you. Thank you.
this is one of so this was also a cut from the Albatross videos over at the Crossroads.
Oh, yeah.
Love
Yeah.
that shit.
Thanks. Glad you enjoyed it.
So refresh my memory, Popeye. During the last stream, you played a song that you dedicated to your mother, and I forgot the name of.
Played a song that I dedicated to my mother.
It was like the first song that you played during that quarantine.
Oh, Hero. Yeah.
Hero. Yes. Okay.
Yeah.
I think all of your covers are like right in your wheelhouse. I don't think I've heard you pick something that's like, what?
Well,
Because some people will do that.
Yeah, no, I'll be honest. Can't explain it, but for whatever reason, the theme song for The Love Boat has been stuck in my head for the last 3 days, and I tried to work on it, and I realized it's a complicated it's a complicated song, and I just couldn't figure out the chorus. You know? Love, exciting and new. Come aboard. We're expecting you. And love.
Oh my gosh.
Life's sweetest reward. It's an open call. on a ship to shore.
I love
And
it.
then the love boats, love lady.
Listen, you had me sold until that would fall apart there.
I don't know. I still
Yeah,
sold
'cause
on that.
Because I couldn't figure it out, and so I was just like, all right, you know what? You're just gonna have to walk away, and just if it comes up at karaoke time, then you can do it then. But put your guitar down, go do a lap, make sure the animals are okay.
Do a lap.
Do a lap.
Do a lap.
How many steps do you think you go through a day doing laps?
Oh my God! Well, there's I don't want to sound like I'm bragging, but there are 3 levels to this house. So yeah,
That's
a lot.
steps, yeah.
That's a lot of steps.
I
Steps,
knew,
but it's kind of narrow and tall. Our house is kind of like a trapezoid because it's on or a parallelogram because it's on the side of a hill.
All right.
Yeah.
There's a lot of steps.
You have a basement.
I knew that Teresa would love that love boat.
Oh yeah, my mother is in
Oh,
love.
good.
As soon as you hit that love boat, I'm like,
Welcome
if Teresa is still here, she's gonna love this shit. Holy shit!
All right. Well, maybe that's my next challenge.
Show
I'll
tunes.
put together yeah, you know what? I'm doing that. Teresa, you're getting it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm gonna find the karaoke background track, and I'm gonna do that for you. It's not gonna happen tonight.
We'll do
but
another
it'll happen.
show.
Yeah.
We'll call it the
That's
Love
fine.
Boat.
I'd like to.
Inaugural.
Maybe I can work on that privately, since clearly I can't play it on guitar. But no, she's gonna get it because Teresa. I haven't met you. We haven't communicated directly, but I heart you,
Aw.
and I appreciate you appreciating me, and that's good enough for me.
Oh, also, see, I wanted to bring this up too during the interview, but like, I was scrambling trying to put everything together, but I also, don't have a lot of time because I've got a kid and a full-time job. So,
Sure.
a
dying battery.
And a dying battery. But nothing's flashing yet, so we're not
jinx it.
We're not in the danger zone.
Great.
Danger zone.
But what I was going to say is, going through and doing research, because I obviously wanted to hit all the fan favorites first, I stumbled upon Gesture, and I was like, well, why didn't you just be like, hey, don't worry, I got this covered. I already wrote a song about it. Go listen to it and stop bothering me. So
No, I don't know.
For those of you who don't know, just so you know, Gesture is like the thank you song from Farside, which I've only ever heard twice. Once from Farside, and Real Big Fish, I think, have done something like that. So what I'm going to say about that is class. That is class to recognize, break the fourth wall for a moment, recognize your fan base, recognize the followers, and be like, hey, thanks for that shit. I get to do it all the time because this is a talk show and I get to break the fourth wall. I get to look at the camera and be like, hey, thanks everybody watching. But for music, that always feels like a big deal when you break the fourth wall. Maybe it's just me personally, because music and by extension musicals and all the stuff associated with it just sort of lives in this world where we express ourselves through song, and when you break the fourth wall and you bring reality into it and be like, hey, like I brought this up before when I Hope That You're Unhappy, you break the fourth wall like in the first verse. You're like, hey, check it out.
Oh yeah,
I'm still going to school. We got a new album dropping. There's reality there, and if not dealt with correctly, it can really suck. So what I'm getting at is, I think you peppered it in just enough where you're like, hey, I get it. We exist in the real world. So here's a reference, but now we're going to get back to whatever, rocking out.
Yeah.
Basically, you're amazing and you're a person.
Oh, thank you. I'll just focus on being a person.
You'll always have that, Popeye.
Yeah.
Yeah, I check every day when I do my laps.
It's still a person.
Like you're still a human person. Okay, good.
Walk down the hall and you see yourself in a mirror and you're like, all right.
Not
we
a
have a lot
vampire.
of mirrors, and that's that is very helpful. Well, thank you very much. I'm glad that you connected with that song, because like I was talking about earlier, that scene that we came up in, it was almost as much of a community and than it was a music scene.
So,
I don't want to, let me clarify that because
yeah.
Because a lot of music scenes, it's like, okay, the band is up there on the stage with the lights and the awesome sound system, and then you have the nameless, faceless people in the crowds, and it wasn't like that.
Right. Because you're like right next to them, man. Like with punk, it's you can play in a garage.
Yeah, there were a lot of that. Yeah, garage shows, VFW halls, and Knights of Columbus centers, and and college rec rooms and community centers. Whoever would put on a show, part of it was not just because people were a little fearful of the hardcore punk rock stuff, but also it's an underage crowd, and there's going to be zero alcohol sales.
True.
So proper venues, they're like, nah, we're not booking you.
Right. Huh.
So you just kind of did the thing and worked with what you had, but at the same time, there was also that kind of social movement of, being kind of a rebellion or a rejection towards corporate rock and songs and songs. It's like, I can't really, I'm not a good looking guy, and I'm not cool. I'm not having sex with all these chicks on Sunset Boulevard. It's like, no, I just can't relate to that.
But everybody is.
So anyway, that's what I mean by like, it was definitely more of a community thing, and so I just kind of felt compelled to write Gesture. Not that I ever felt like it was. I didn't set out to write an anthem by any means. I just thought, like, well, these are the words that are coming into my mind that I'm jotting down on my notebook, and I want just like, hey, thanks everybody. Thanks for coming to a show and spending your hard-earned time and your hard-earned money and buying a record and buying a T-shirt and saying something nice to us, or that was back kind of when the internet was still kind of a baby, so people would write letters, and you had punk rock pen pals, and it's like oh man, thank you for taking the time.
Fan mail.
I still have all of it. I have shoe boxes of letters from people over the years, and
that's awesome.
I could never get rid of that. It's to me, it's awesome that you took the time to sit down and handwrite a letter. And also the other thing is you had to put some kind of address for what's your correspondence. Somebody had email.
Right.
And so usually somebody would just put, okay, who's probably going to be living at their mom's house the longest? Okay, that's going to
P.O. box.
That's going to be the translation. P.O. boxes are expensive.
That's true.
So or we couldn't afford. Nobody could afford one. But I will say, if you had a P.O. box, it was like, ooh,
that is pretty rich.
Right?
But we would just be like, it's all going to my mom's house. So, and if we did like a fanzine interview, it's like, here's the address if you want to get in touch with us, and you would receive letters, and it was, you tried to write them back as best as you could, but
that is so cool.
You should put it all in a scrapbook.
I'm happy keeping them in the shoe boxes. That's going to be like volumes of scrapbook.
I'm sure there's a huge.
Hey man,
I think that's cool. Like the nostalgia.
I mean, I'm not talking about like thousands of them or anything, but even if it was one, I would still save that forever.
Right.
But you're right. It is like the nostalgia, and it definitely makes you think like, okay, you're somebody that I have no connection with. I don't know you from a hole in the wall, but you took the time. To write this letter and mail it to me. You took the time to buy a record, buy a shirt, do whatever. And even in today's day and age, you took the time to send me a private message on Facebook or whatever. The least I can do, other than responding, is here's a song that sums up how much I appreciate you, because without you, none of this would have happened. Like, we wouldn't have been able to go on tour or record records or do any of this stuff if the people that were into us showed up. So we owe you. You might think of us as like, well, you're the band. It's like, no. You're the community.
Yeah.
You're the people that made it so we could book this show and got here in the first place. So I feel like we owe you.
Right. I feel that same way with this show too. Like if this were a vacuum and there were no one there to enjoy it, like I would probably still do it because why not? But it wouldn't be nearly as fulfilling because it's not necessarily, the content is not necessarily why we're here. And I think people get lost in the terminology of punk rock because they think that's that other thing. But punk rock just means like a local, intimate community. Like you're doing it for the love. Punk rock does it for the love of the thing.
Mm-hmm.
Don't get me wrong. I love my fair share of commercial, overproduced garbage. One of my favorite.
I do as well.
One of my favorite songs, as everybody on the show knows, is Cher's "Believe."
Oh, hey man, I'm not going to take any away from that song.
From the second I heard it, I was like, "This is an anthem for my generation."
It's a good jam.
Yeah,
I love it. But I will never give a fuck about what Cher does. Because that's the thing. Like, I don't know if she wrote that song. I don't know if there's any connection to it. She probably didn't. She doesn't play the instruments. She is a money. There are artists out there that are entertainment machines and money making machines, and you go to them for lowest common denominator. You want to rock out, and you don't want to think. I can recommend plenty of bands. If you're like me though, and you want to pick apart, you want the minutia, you want the backstory, you want the detail, you go singer-songwriter, because I've tried to pick apart surface level songs. Believe has nothing deeper than surface. However, I have and will maybe again spend hours dissecting your material. I could go over Linda Ronstadt. I could go over all my favorite singer-songwriters, because they'll never fill the Terror Dome or sell out Madison Square Garden or whatever. They'll never be invited to the Thunderdome. But I would argue that they are more important because they foster a stronger connection and a closer community, instead of just being like, hey man, I love Welcome to the Jungle. Axl is a asshole and I don't want to see him in real life, but I will listen to Welcome to the Jungle when I am ready to start doing some headbanging.
Sure. Yeah. Gotcha.
So there's room for both, but I think one definitely is more important. And important is also subjective. I get that.
It is very subjective. Yeah.
Because
and who you're going to be inspired by is, like. So
I can't say that like Leonard Skinner's, Simple Kind of Man, even though it's, a large, big commercialized song, maybe that sparks something in somebody someday. Mm. I feel nothing, but I can't.
Agreed. But, still, but you're not. But how could you make the point? Just like, how could you say you want to lose your left arm? Same thing with same thing with me. It's like, well, this is working for you, so you continue to go forth and conquer, because this is your thing.
But then for me, it comes down to a numbers game, a game of percentages, because the people this is only clearly just hypothesis and drunken opinion. However, I think it is correct because I'm seldom wrong. I think that people, that those who take inspiration from a Popeye will pass along a depth to their work more often than someone who's like, man, I love Sweet Child of Mine, and pass on that lineage of just like power ballads, but surface level wallpaper of music.
Yeah. Well, thanks.
But it makes sense, though.
I don't know. It might, and it might not, because I'm sure there's plenty of people that would be like, "Who's this jerk?"
Right. I'm just hedging my bets. I'm saying if you're into,
I get it.
If you're into deep shit, you will probably produce deep and or deeper shit. Whereas if you are like, man, fucking Megadeth, which I love. Don't get me wrong. I love Almost Honest. I love all those power ballads. But I would never spend an afternoon dissecting a Megadeth album, because it's like, why? There's no humanity there. It's just like, this is music for music's sake, which is needed.
I get teary-eyed every time I hear "I'll Wait Tonight." Like,
I'll wait today.
I'll wait today.
Oh,
sorry, I'm on my bottle of wine. So.
How deeply have you delved into that red mixture?
Well, the bottle is empty on the counter, so.
And
Okay.
here's another thing. So
this is why I asked, like, why did you only buy one?
Well, so here's the thing. We didn't touch upon "I'll Wait Today" a whole lot during the interview, so I want to sort of unpack that a little bit because I think that more often than not, love songs are a product of a commercial endeavor. They say you're putting out an
Agreed.
album. We need a love song to get all the sappy people.
Yeah.
And so when you're like literally the first line of that song is like, I never thought I'd write a love song. And technically you didn't, because it really walks the line of like, here, I said it before, I'll say it again. Introspection. This, like, I'll Wait Today is a song of definite and strong boundaries, which not dictates, but indicates a healthy grasp of oneself. Because if you're like, hey man, I like you, things are great right now, but I've got something that's pulling me in a direction, and if you want to come along, cool, great, come on. But it's here's the thing: most love songs are unrealistic, where people will give up things that they never would.
Yeah.
And I think I'll Wait Today is a real world based love song where it's like, yeah, things are great, but let's be real, shit's conditional, man.
Yeah. I mean, like with us, like with David and I didn't have to be like, yeah, I'll do this podcast with you for the last 9.5 years. Like, I could have been like, I don't want anything to do with this shit. Like, you can do your thing, and but here we are.
Yeah. So I think that's it, the brilliance of that song. And, I don't want to keep making you uncomfortable.
You do, but you do.
I know.
They're just, you know.
I need to break these things down, and when you think about it,
you're just really
there are
nice
things
about
there.
it.
There are things, Popeye, and you know these things. You wrote these things, so I'm just telling you, and you're like, well, yeah, obviously you did it. So that's the thing. When you listen to a song like "I'll Wait Today," you think, holy shit, this is some real ass shit. This isn't Rihanna's Diamonds, which I love. This isn't like, you know, there's an ethos there. I love, here, maybe you don't know this artist, but do you know of a girl named Joss Stone?
Oh,
yeah.
I've certainly heard of her. Yeah.
She hit a while back, and I was like, amazing. So she does this blues interpretation. All of her session players are always these old veteran jazz session musicians. And she plays a lot of these blues inspired standards. However, I can't take it seriously because I don't feel like there's a connection there. I get that you can put as much soul into a song as you want. If there's no connection to the source material, you feel it.
Yeah, I think it's her voice that makes the genre over herself.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
That's the
yeah. I mean, I get it, and it's, you know, it's also the, you know, a lot of the times it's also the you know, the product of, okay, you're on a major label, and so we need to kind of
I get
package this in a way that's
totally get that.
And sometimes you can break through with something that's a little more
completely
raw and indie, but
everybody's got their own path. However, I think the more genuine the path, personally, and I think if you're a higher intellectual being, you will find the value and also recognize the authenticity of albums from singer-songwriters that aren't just like, hey man, you got a great voice, you can put a lot of soul into it, sing the song. Yeah. Sure, great. I love Joss Stone. She's got a brilliant voice, really smooth, great session players. She's got everything going for her except a personal connection to the material, which is why people love Bob Dylan. I think he's overrated and garbage, but people connect to his message over his music because he's got a personal connection. And I can't take that away from anybody.
Yeah.
No, that's a good example for sure. Yeah.
Go Heels for Life says, I'll Wait Today is my second favorite Farside song. It's perfect. Jeff is here. Hey, Jeff.
J-Dog.
Mark says, so if you told 90s me had be listening to a podcast in 2020 with Popeye talking about Cher and Rihanna, I'd have laughed hysterically.
Listen, this is a disclaimer for all of 2020. Everything is out the window. Whenever someone comes to me and says, "Isn't that crazy?" I say, "Do you know what year we're living in?"
It's impossible to know.
Don't get me wrong.
Yeah,
it is a time of incredible strife. However, this year, because I'm going to lay all of my success at the feet of the coronavirus, simply because I think that now that everybody is sort of reassessing, looking, I think it's a perfect storm. And Popeye, I want your opinion. I think the coronavirus shutting everybody in, along with this sort of complete saturation of big budgets, huge corporation media, is forcing, maybe not forcing, but encouraging people to look into more independent art.
I think it's certainly changed the landscape and the norm for sure.
Yeah.
And I think that applies with a lot of other industries as well. And it's like, okay, well, this is happening, and so now we have to change, and we have to make adjustments. And perhaps, hopefully, one of the bright points of it will be that more people are spending more time at home, and perhaps they will have more time to try to figure out how to be more creative and focus on other things that are, not just getting up for work and doing all that stuff. And maybe it's like, well, you have time. Maybe you can read that book, and maybe that'll inspire you to
I think
do some of your own writing, or listen to more music, and that'll inspire you to do some of your own writing and stuff. So,
I think there's been a learning curve, because when everything hit, everyone just immediately panicked. But now that everybody's sort of readjusting to this new norm, I mean, like Mark was saying, if you were to tell me, like, let's not even go back to the 90s, let's say 10 years ago, let's say it's 2010, and someone were to walk up to me and they were like, you know what, in 10 years, 1 million artists that you love will be on YouTube giving free concerts, because here we are, we've got to pull together. If you told me 10 years ago that, hey, guess what, in 10 years you'll get to basically run through your list of heroes and get to talk to them personally and connect with them, I would kick you in the nuts for raising my expectations to an unfathomable degree.
Yep, that is certainly a silver lining, is that it has, you know what, it probably has connected more people than it had before. And in the day and age we live in the digital age, you can get on your phone or your tablet or whatever, and you can send a direct message to somebody. You're
within seconds contact with anybody on the planet.
It's
literally
crazy, because
it is.
I joined a direct sales business like right when coronavirus started, and I was like, oh, okay, I sell makeup and do makeup.
I've looked at your videos.
Oh, thanks. That makes me feel weird. But
well, you're watching me play music live. How does that not make me?
It works one way, not the other, Popeye. You have to realize the situation here.
But like, I tried Pampered Chef like way back, like before coronavirus, and I failed at it because I was like, I don't really cook, so why do I do this? But I found that I think we're getting forced into things that we love because we have no other choice. We cannot distract ourselves outside the house. Yeah. And
so we're forced to. Here's the metaphor that I've been telling everybody that I think is pretty apt. So this year, everybody is made of something. And this year has been a fire. And we've all been on this conveyor belt moving through this year, which is a fire. Some people have burned away to nothing.
Mm-hmm.
And some people have come out purified by that fire and are a sleeker, stronger, more agile version of themselves because everything excess has been burned away. And I think now is the time that we're going to see a huge blossoming, not only in like consumption of independent art, but a production.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Independent art and small business.
I think definitely production. I think it might take a little time for a lot of people to get back to the point of where they're able to purchase things,
maybe.
but production, yes. I think I mean, dare I say, it might even turn into a renaissance of sorts. Like, there's been so many people who have just been going crazy, and the output that they've been throwing out there has been incredible. And so
here's
there's an awful lot to write about and be inspired about one way or the other. So here's totally with you.
Here's something I'm going to run up your flagpole that I think everybody should internalize, but always forgets. So everybody, including me, I was very doom and gloom for the first half of this year, obviously. And one drifts to the forgotten incredible civilizations of yore, and you say, well, the Mayans, the Romans, the Greeks, the Japanese, the Chinese, all of these empires have fallen. And you say, we're headed that way. But think about it. We still have Rome. We still have China. We still have Japan. No matter what collapse, no matter how burnt to the ground humanity is at any point, we come back.
Yes.
Now, the Renaissance, we had the Dark Ages where we literally lost everything, but we came back from it. Rome fell.
Yeah.
We came back.
Agreed.
Ancient Egypt fell.
The Black Plague.
Yeah. Kingdoms have come and gone. Diseases have come and gone. Humans come back. And nobody can be like, well, wasn't it a shame when all the humans died out with the Roman Empire? Like, so let's say America falls apart and there's total collapse. I'm not worried because we've done it before. Maybe we'll come out better.
Yeah.
But in the meantime, there's still a lot of aggregate.
Yeah. Could you give me a quick moment?
Sure.
I will. I'm talking like a super quick moment. I'll be right back.
I'll vamp. So, Krista, look at the chat room is going crazy. What's going on there?
Jeff says, here's the thing about music and creativity. It's a skill that has to be practiced at, and in modern society, we're so inundated with the idea that if we can't make money, it's not worth our time.
Yeah, I think we've confused worth because I'll get Popeye's view on this too. I think now worth. Oh, he's back. Okay, let's run this up his flagpole. All right, Popeye. So the new topic raised is.
Yeah. Sorry about that. I had a little.
No sweat.
A rabbit situation. Someone snuck out of his cage.
Oh.
Rabbit hijinks up at the Popeye house.
Started gnawing at an extension cord, so I had to put a stop to it. So sorry about that.
So here's the concept that is being brought up and so Jeff in the typing square says that music, and I think this applies to also all art, worth has been confused or at least diluted. I think now worth is like, what is it worth monetarily, when sure, that's important if you want to, whatever, if that's what you would put your stick up to. But I think worth should be more a visceral thing than a monetary thing, because my car is worth 20 grand monetarily, but to me it's invaluable because it gets my ass to work, it gets my ass to the store. So that's the thing. I think like, let's say, for instance, this Farside album, the Monroe Doctrine, available hopefully soon. Monroe Doctrine, the monetary value somewhere between $12 and $15, a pittance compared to its worth emotionally. And so that's what I think when you say, I don't want to spend $15, because don't be wrong, I've been there. You say, I don't want to spend X amount on Y product, but then you have to retrain yourself to think, if it's a big name product, big box store, I don't give a shit, whatever. The moral issue comes in when you're like, I don't know if I should spend $15 to support this artist. Yes, you should, because number one, that album will pay for itself. Even if it sucks, you will have learned a valuable lesson, and it's worth the price of admission. So two outcomes. Either it sucks and the price of admission for learning that lesson was $15 and that band sucks, or you can open up a door of perception in your mind, man, and find obviously tongue-in-cheek, but you can find something that you are in love with and you wouldn't have because of a $15 barrier or whatever.
Yeah.
Let's be real.
Yeah. No, I think it is. I think it has become. It has changed with the age of streaming that we're in.
Yeah.
And I also think there's that convenience of
sure.
Well, why should I have to pay for that?
I also get that.
And I can find it on YouTube or whatever.
For free, yeah.
And see, the funny thing is, I'm not going to side with the artists on this one because
really?
I'm going to, because I get it. I totally understand what you're saying, but if you've only got $15 to spend,
sure,
buy some food and
I get that. So
and stuff. It's like, and I also kind of feel, and this is just me. Hey, I'm the one that chose to be the artist, and if you don't like it, like that's
right.
I'm not gonna make you feel guilty. Like, well, why wouldn't you buy my album?
Right.
Well,
So
because I'm not into what you're doing. It's like pretty cool.
Full disclosure,
I'm grateful if you do. But,
my sweeping generalization applies to the dead center of society. Like there are a million things you can do to support someone. I just don't want people to be turned away by the ticket price as a barrier to entry if you have the means.
Yeah.
And if you don't have the means, there are a million ways. Like, let's say whatever, you don't want to support this show, you don't want to spend money without getting something. I get that because I grapple with that all the time too. It's not for everybody, but if you have the appreciation, it is there. And I think
sure
we're headed for the middle. I'm not saying spend your
sharing
last dime.
Something is free. Like
right,
like sharing a link to whatever is.
That's the link that I've totally lost. Is there a million free things you can do to show your appreciation?
Yeah.
I don't care if I don't whatever. I put the Patreon for this show and like all of our merch and shit because people ask. I honestly don't care if I make anything or get anything out of this. If you listen, you have paid your ticket. This is free. Your ticket to entry is nothing. Thanks for stopping by.
Yeah.
You fulfilled your part of the contract.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
If you want to go above and beyond, great. Like, seriously, I've been listening. I could, if I wanted to, just listen to Farside on YouTube for the rest of my life. But I
go ahead.
But I bought the albums because,
and I tried to talk you out of it.
Yeah, but that's not going to happen.
No.
Yeah, but you got a wife and a kid to raise, and I feel like that money would be better.
Hey, they need music too.
Yeah, and that the kid can be raised on good music.
So am I going to get royalties or something? Like if he starts getting A's, like I get a nickel per.
I'll tell you what.
Every
time something you wrote comes up on my iPod, I'll make a hashtag in my notebook over here, and we'll call that between 10 and 15 cents a royalty spin.
Okay, I hear everything that you're saying, and it makes perfect sense. I don't feel that way. I feel like music is. I recognize that it matters to, and all kinds of art. It matters, and it matters to a lot of people, and it can affect people and inspire people and change people's lives, and the smallest amount of people that have ever given me a kind word about anything that I've ever done. Super grateful about it, and I lie awake at night thinking about it. However, However, it means more to me, and this is just me. I can't speak on behalf of anybody else. Just me. It means way, way, way more to me that it mattered to you than putting a couple of bucks in my pocket. Because what am I going to do with a couple of bucks?
Right.
I'm going to go to I'll get my coupons and do my thing, but. It's way more. I feel like it's way more valuable to the world. Right. Sorry for sounding like a total hippie.
No, it's like, real.
If you dig this, and if it's doing something for you, you take it and do whatever you want with it. I don't need something back from it. I already did it. Like this was my thing. Writing it and practicing and going into the studio and playing shows. And being able to take a step back and say, okay, are you proud of that? I'm mostly proud of that, or I'm very proud of that, and now I'm satisfied, and that was my therapy.
People,
and that was great. So you, the listener, you take it and do whatever you want. Also, to put it in a more specific thing, because I know our age difference isn't that bad. Like when we were younger, you would go to the record store or wherever, and you would buy a stack of cassette tapes, and then go over to your friend's house and tape records.
yeah,
and it's like, great, you like this album. I'm more interested in you liking this album than saying, well, that's copyright infringement.
Let me tell you.
So to me, it's almost kind of the same thing. Like, I'd rather you had a copy of it than. Let me tell you a story. You don't have to buy it from me or Revelation Records. I'm sure Revelation Records wouldn't be thrilled to hear that. But
I'm going to tell you a story that is a tale of theft that warmed my heart.
Okay.
So back in the old days,
that sounds like another script that you were working on.
It might be. So back in the old days, before radio, this is before FFOP radio. Obviously, this is before even the inkling of a podcast. This is before podcasts. Me and a group of friends, two of those people, Adam and Andy, who are on this show, and my buddy Sean, we were like, hey, guess what? We're going to do a web comic because we're edgy and it's 2000, whatever. We're going to do a web comic. And wildly unsuccessful, wildly fun, however, because I got to do all the writing, which I consider is one of my fortes, one of my few. And so we had my friend Sean did the art, and then we had this whole website and this community based around a web comic called Mechanical Pencil Shavings. Genius, right?
Oh yeah.
So
good name.
Years after that comic dies, Andy tells me a story where we had this comic back in the old days when the Xbox first came out. We were satirizing its hilarious user agreement. So it was this dumb guy reading the text on an Xbox screen. It's like, by accepting, you do this, that, and the other, and also relinquish your immortal soul to Microsoft. And it's this idiot with like screwball eyes, like going, okay, doink, because they hated Xbox. And that was it. It was a 3-panel comic that went up on our obscure website that I thought had died. Years later, Andy tells me that at a convention that he was at, someone had taken that image, put it on a T-shirt, and by an astronomical coincidence, was in the same place at the same time with Andy. He saw the shirt, and I'm like, "Did you tell him that is our shit?" And he said, "No." I walked away. So
this is the first time I'm hearing this.
This was back in the days when I got angry very easily. This is when he told me that. And I was like, Andy, I wanted to strangle him because I was like, you didn't tell the dude whose IP on his shirt was ours. He stole it. You weren't even going to walk it up and be like, hey man, thanks for the support. That's me. He was the one depicted in the goddamn comic. He wasn't even about to walk up and be like, hey man, that comic on your shirt that you stole, that's me in the picture. Didn't do it. But moral of the story is I appreciated that some random dude took the time to steal our shit.
Loved it so much.
Yes. Yeah. We were nobodies.
It's kind of flattering.
Totally.
Yeah,
piracy
you're into it.
Makes it better. Like my mom says, music is memories. And it is. Like
oh God, I love Teresa.
You can tell, like, from certain bands, certain people's music, that they care about the people, I guess.
I think we've been through this. Yeah. There are the artists who are a superstar talent, but dumb as a post and can't write, so they go to go to songwriters for their songs.
Like my favorite band all time is Journey. Like Faithfully is my number one song.
Oh,
and
I have an older sister, and she used to play like all the Journey hits she had the Journey songbook for the family piano, Open Arms,
all those road trips.
Oh my God! But I know Faithfully because that was that was the album after what album was that? Was that Departure or
it was I can't remember what it was. I just my favorite album is obviously their best hits. Is just what I kind of grew up with, I guess. I don't know.
Yeah. Sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off, but you brought back a lot of good memories.
But yeah, it's a Journey is awesome, and like even like Faithfully is great, and even the new dude that sings sounds like Steve Perry, and it's amazing.
Amazing how that happened.
Yep. Yeah.
It's great, and like not to make you feel uncomfortable, but I feel like your favorite Trainwreck is like that version of Journey for me in the 2000s. Like now that I listen to it now, because I can listen to like Faithfully and then listen to On Tonight and be like, all right,
because there's a connection.
There's feeling there. There's not.
Listen, here's another example of sort of an indie, lesser known group like Steam Powered Giraffe. Have you heard of Steam Powered Giraffe?
Yeah,
I have not.
So they're an interesting steampunk band where their whole shtick is like they're all robots, these steam powered robots that gain sentience and now play music.
Huh.
I dig that shtick. I dig all their stuff.
That sounds really cool.
They covered Diamond, so of course I had to listen to that. I think that is a case. No matter how much, I'm sure other people can shout me down in whatever way they deem necessary, but I think that the Steam Powered Giraffe really gets by on their looks. They are good songwriters and they have a definite stage presence, but the technical side lacks for me, which I can forgive if it were like, I don't know. It's hard to say. So moral of the story is there are independent artists out there who I think focus on pizzazz, focus on personality, focus on there's a million different ways you can take this thing.
Mm-hmm.
But authenticity and introspection are going to be the things that you remember, because like, in your old age, you're going to look back and think about the songs that meant something to you. I'm not on my deathbed. I won't be like, play Believe by Cher one more time. I need to know.
Are you sure?
Maybe. If I have time, I might. I won't.
I would be down for that.
But I'll
be there.
The thing would be, at my last moments will not be worried about if there is life after love. My last moments are going to be spent pondering the human condition, and so I am going to be more likely to find something that I connect with really, instead of just being like, it's my, it's the curtain call or whatever, and I want something superficial. No one looks back. That's the thing. No one's going to look back on their life and be like, that was a pleasant picnic we had one day when nothing really outstanding happened, but it was pleasant. That's mainstream rock. I feel for me is, since I don't connect, it was nice. It was a nice day. It was a nice picnic. It was a nice whatever, but I'm not, after it's done, great. That was fun. But your favorite Trainwreck and Farside are the Christmases, the birthdays. Those are the things you're going to look back on and be like, fuck yes, this was the right decision.
Yeah. So we have Pun City over here
Pun
in the chat.
City.
In the typing square.
Because if I may, I look forward to a very pleasant picnic where nothing happens.
Right, and those, I'm not downplaying that. Like
Christmas is great, but I'm happy it only happens once a year.
Paradise City by Guns N' Roses is a fun song, but when I look back and see the important things, since that is basically just tied to a time and not necessarily a memory or a principle or a concept.
Mm-hmm.
God, no, that I totally understand too. Yeah.
So what's up with the pun situation?
So Mark says, I'm really struggling to connect your favorite Trainwreck with Journey, and I was like, I can't explain it. My mom was like, she goes, I think it's the feeling that she gets when she's listening, and that's true. And so he said, I'll just have to go separate ways on that one. Like the Journey song, Separate Ways. You get it, David?
See, I don't know. I don't know if that's a pun. I think that's a nice reference. It's a good illusion, but not a pun.
Oh.
Kayla
says music pun. She agreed.
Yeah, okay, Dave. Chris and I were trying to have a conversation.
Right?
Listen, I just wanted.
we want to talk about Steve Perry and Neil Sean a little bit, if that's cool.
I'll allow. But here's the thing: as long as Kayla's the pun expert.
Yeah,
Kayla's our mod.
She stamped the approval.
If she gives the okay on the pun, hey man,
She did, man. My mom says so many memories
I'll
are
sign
connected
those
to music. Totally true.
Yeah, and here's the thing. Here's what another thing I'm mad at you about Popeye is that
Oh, God, you got a long list of anger.
Listen,
Dave.
Make that an
I'm-
episode.
Jesus.
all the things I'm pissed off
thank
at
you.
Popeye
Number
about.
5.
Number
All
5.
right, yes, sir. Yeah.
Because I could have realistically, let's say, I can't remember the year we met. Let's say it was a year or two after Trainwreck. So let's say 13, 14 we met.
Okay.
I could have had so many more touchstones attached to so many more songs that I like, but I don't. You know why? Someone didn't tell me they were in a pivotal 90s punk band.
Oh shit. Burned.
But I get that. So and a lot of people, I think there's a lot of hoopla about smell being the strongest sense tied to memory, but you're not going to carry around your favorite smell. You can carry around your favorite album.
It's true.
A chocolate chip, the scent of chocolate chip cookies may take you back to a cold day in winter, but I will always have this album on my playlist because those memories you can carry with you.
I'm just gonna say Mark is amazing in the chat.
Mark seems like a cool guy. I'm gonna give it up to Mark.
He says, "Just believe, Dave. Don't stop believing."
Just
And he says, "So Dave, what you're saying is, if I could turn back time."
Oh, see, now you're talking my language, Mark.
Yeah. Why the hell isn't Mark on the show? Right? Like really on the show?
Kayla
He'd
says,
probably be a way better conversationalist.
Kayla says, Mark's puns are worlds apart.
Listen, guys, I know we've been going for a while, but
we're all getting hysterical here.
We are a little bit.
We're getting real drunk. You guys may be getting real or punch drunk.
I have gone through a bottle of wine.
Good.
I'm ready for anything.
Popeye, I would hate to do this to you, but
no, it's all right, bro.
Do you think you give us one more song before? I mean, we've been going for a while, and I don't want to push it. But if you got one on deck, I'll gladly take it.
I mean, I'm equally tipsy and belligerent and tipsy, and I'm frankly I'm really tired of your kindness. It's just driving me nuts.
You're amazing.
See, I expected.
No,
I expected
shut
full
up.
stop.
Fuck.
Would you rather say you suck?
Well, no, I only got 10% of my battery left, so
Typing Square.
Do it.
Typing Square. This is the last song, so please sit back and enjoy.
Yeah. You got. I mean, I don't know what to say to. Sheesh.
Save it for
Sheesh
after.
kebab.
Save it for after.
We'll wrap up after this. I've got plenty of stuff to go over. We'll give out thank yous and everything. Just focus on that melody. Let's hear it. I want to, let's give everybody. It's a fucking Friday. It's
tune your face, bro.
Flamingo Friday. Tune your face, bro.
Tune your face, bro.
Tune in for some Popeye. Let's hear some stuff. Popeye.
Okay. Thank you, guys. So this is a song that was originally written by Buddy Holly, whom I love.
I'm excited about this.
Yeah, but now it's about one of our 10 cats that lives here, who no matter what, she's a jerk.
I love this song.
Yeah.
I love this.
But I hope someday she will see the light and she will understand the power of love. And then we're going to talk about Huey Lewis in the News. That'll be episode 6.
Yes.
All right.
Yes.
All right.
Baby, I'll have you. Baby, you'll be true. Baby, I'll have you. It's funny, you don't care. You never listen to my prayers. Baby, you will love me someday. Well, you are the one that makes me glad. and you are the one that makes me sad. That when someday you will see, well, I'll be there waiting to see. Maybe, baby, I'll have you. Maybe, baby, you'll be true. Maybe, baby, I'll have you for me. La-da-da-da-da-da, meow, meow, meow. La-da-da-da-da-da, meow, meow, meow. La-da-da-da-da-da, meow, 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 meow. Well, you are the one that makes me glad, and you are the one that makes me sad. When someday you will see, well, I'll be there waiting to see me. Maybe Harlow, I'll have you. Maybe Harlow, you'll be true. Probably not. Maybe Harlow, I will have you someday. Maybe Harlow, I'll have you someday.
Oh man, Popeye, thank you so much. It is.
Thanks for tolerating that.
Oh my God.
Stumbleability thing.
So here's the thing: we are at critical battery mass. So
all right, love it.
Real quick before we die. Recommendations: check out the podcast that Popeye did. The two of them, 1 and 2, Popeye and Popeye 2, Electric Boogaloo or whatever I called it. Pick up the albums. They're available at Revelation Records. I'm going to try like hell to get the Monroe Doctrine put back into rotation. I've gotten some winks and some whispers. We'll see what happens. Popeye, do you want to tell anybody to look at something or to enjoy something, or do you want to tell our listeners and viewers anything before we go?
I have nothing to promote, but if you're thinking about getting an animal, don't shop, adopt.
Shelter.
And if you're thinking about getting a rabbit, do your research.
Oh, always good advice. So guys, remember, this is important before I die. Be like Popeye. It's in the store. Go to guys, seriously, hurry up.
Okay, buy that stuff. I can't believe I forgot. Buy it.
Get that stuff. I want to say thank you to everyone who showed up, everybody shows interest in the show, everybody who has been a part of it. Popeye, thank you so much for being a part of it with us.
Thank you, Dave and Krista.
We are extremely lucky and made richer for the experience. Undoubtedly.
Me as well.
So Popeye, thank you so much. Chat,
thank you,
typing square rather. Thank you so much. Guys, until next time, this has been FFOP Radio, Hangout and Chat. And remember, guys, our tagline is "Be like Popeye." See you next time.
Thanks, everybody. Bye.
Awesome.